Yo, yo, yo. What up, chat? What up, chat? How y'all doing? How y'all living? Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are doing great on this fine Friday evening. I just want to say good job, y'all. Y'all survived another week. Clap it up. Clap it up. I'm happy for y'all. But hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are doing good. The idea for the stream is pretty simple. Damn, I'm hearing myself. That's crazy. Anyways, the idea for the stream is pretty simple. Nothing too complex. Just talking about random JJK stuff. Not in the way that I do when I have Tessa on here when we spin the wheel. That isn't the plan, at least. More so just talking about stuff, fielding questions from you guys, you know, popular topics, blah, 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 do. I will say this real quick, just as a disclaimer. No spoilers for Chapter 269. That is not dropped officially. Leave it alone. Blah, blah, blah. Do. But anyways, I will be taking questions. I'll mainly be taking them from chat. Obviously, you know, we'll kind of run it by the build a blank streams. Like if someone super chats, they'll get priority. But like if there's not any of those, I'll just take questions from chat. So nothing too crazy. I'm gonna take. There's actually only two versus battles I don't want to talk about on this stream, namely Maki versus Kenjaku and Yuta versus Yorozu. Only because, I mean, I don't mind talking about them, but only because I'll be actually doing like a proper like debate on stream for you guys for those topics. So I feel like it'll be a little tired to double back on it. I don't mind doing it, but you know, just letting y'all know, you can save a stream question. Anyway. Kashimo blitzes Yuta. Man, y'all are funny. JJK versus battles, inverse or cross verse? Could be both. Honestly, just depends on what y'all are interested in hearing. I'm down to do both if I know about what the verse is. But yeah, seeing some familiar faces. Torch, Hakari, Zenen, Sleeping Danger, Atreides, Nexus. You know, what up, gang? How y'all doing? How y'all living? Let's see. Yeah, how high does max power Jogo scale to Miwa? So here's the thing, right? We all know that Miwa is at the top of the verse. And that's just, I mean, we all know why, right? Now as for Jogo, here's the thing. If Miwa couldn't output positive energy, Jogo might actually be able to stalemate her, right? But unfortunately, obviously she knows everything in regards to Jujutsu, so he does just have like the anti-hacks. It's a bad matchup for him, but they scale pretty similarly. Yuta solos everyone below him. I mean, I would agree that if you're above the people you're above, you would beat them. Let's see. I'm guessing 6 finna run elite Yorozu defense. Actually, I'll let y'all wait and see, but actually that wasn't even the idea, simply because I didn't know bro was on the Yorozu like you know, train until recently. CNP Animation Studios, thank you for the 5. Have you seen JJK scaling on versus Battle Wiki? If so, what are your thoughts? I haven't checked recently, but I can check real quick. Let's see what they got for Jujutsu Kaisen. I'll pull it up on stream for y'all. Let me switch this over. Let me see what they got on versus Battle Wiki for JJK. Prepare to get flashbang, chat. Let's see. Oh, Jalen, thank you for the 5. Bro, thank you for putting us on Tenkaichi. No problem, gang. No problem. Surprised that short did as well as it did. But, you know, if people are interested in it, I'm more than happy to put y'all on. I really rock with the manga. It's just a fun read. Nothing too crazy. So I've used some of these calcs. Let's see. I don't necessarily disagree with like what I'm seeing right here. Let's see. Speed stuff. Capping out at Mach 2 is kind of crazy. Let's see. I think Ghetto beat 2. Okay. Yeah, I don't think I disagree with any of this. Not particularly so. Nothing stands out to me as really bad. I think the speed scaling might be a little low, but aside from that, I don't think it's all that bad. Let's see. Genji Hakari, think of it too. Hakari and Kurara versus the different colonies. All right, let me. Hakari and Kurara versus Culling Games. Let's see. So both of them working together. I don't know if Kurara is much of a factor in a lot of fights. I mean, maybe they can be useful support, I guess. Although, like, anybody with a domain's kind of an issue. So I think for obvious ones, I guess like for Tokyo Colony 1, you have Hakari and Kurara going up against like Higuruma and subsequently Reggie. The Reggie one's a bit simpler. Jackpot Hakari just won't die to anything that Reggie has and will probably just outlast him and, you know, beat his ass or whatever. Kurara's not really necessary in that battle, nor are they particularly helpful, but they are a factor, I guess. They do exist in the battlefield. Maybe you could say that like marking one of Reggie's receipts like basically nullifies them full stop, although I'm not entirely sure. As for Hakari versus Higuruma, I guess it depends on who you think opens their domain first. And if Hakari opens his domain first, the question now is, who do you think has the better barrier? It's a question that honestly doesn't really have a great answer, in all honesty, because they both have like the non-lethal domain expansions. They both are better at barrier techniques by nature due to what their curse techniques are. Higuruma does later have better barrier feats, but I don't know if we're counting that when assessing him in Tokyo Colony 1. Like, as domain amplification, he's like witnessing the Gojo versus Sukuna fight and seemingly picking up on stuff. His talent level is skyrocketing, blah, blah, blah. Wooty-wooty-woo. But I don't know if you would apply that here. It's kind of tough. I guess you could say Hakari has a better domain refinement feat because he's able to move the coordinates of his barrier. If you go off of that, Hakari probably wins. Just Jackpot Hakari beats Higuruma's ass. Higuruma doesn't really scale all that high. If Higuruma does open his domain first, and opening a domain is an act of violence, granted, it probably wouldn't be in Hakari's case, but if it is, Higuruma just wins because taking Hakari's curse technique and then disrupting his energy probably just makes him a Higuruma victim, high key. If Kurara's caught there too, same thing for them. They don't have any anti-domain defense as far as I'm aware. If they do clash and Hakari wins, then it's just the same idea there. Now as for Sendai, I don't know. It's tough specifically because like Uro pretty hard counters Hakari. You know, him being a hand-to-hand merchant versus Sky Manipulation isn't the greatest matchup. He also, okay, I'll put it like this, right? If the fight plays out pretty similarly where he goes up against Druve, you know, maybe comes into it already, like he gets jackpot against Druve, goes into it against Kururushi, then fights Uro and Ishiguri, and then like has that triple domain thing. If Hakari's domain breaks at any point, he's cooked. Like base Hakari's, and I don't say this from a place of hate, at least exclusively, base Hakari is mega ass compared to a lot of the Sendai colony fighters. If his domain shatters before he gets a jackpot, like Kururushi enters or something, it's up, it's over. Kurara's cool or whatever, but anybody with a domain takes them out, and I don't really know if they have any win cons, I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's see. Kururushi low-key kind of an annoying person for Hakari to fight, considering he doesn't have any like big AoE attacks. But like Kururushi shouldn't beat him by any means. Let's see. Shit louder than the weed I'm smoking. Hold on, shit. Alright. Anywho. Alright, I'll mark that one off. Oh, Sakurajima colony, right? If Naoya blitz, like if Naoya does the thing to where they pull up in the colony and blitz off rip, I don't know. It depends on what you think base Hakari's durability is, which is, it's kind of hard to say. He's pretty featless in that regard. Like base Hakari's feats amount to hitting and hurting off guard Yuji, albeit not being able to put him down. being like vaguely stronger than Charles, although someone that like can take damage from him, and like get hurt. Granted, it's not like significant damage, right? You see him like kind of like bruise up a little bit or get cut from Charles's G Ward staff. But if you think that now you're ramming into Hakari at Mach 3 is enough to disable him, like stop him being too damaged to even cast a domain, maybe Naoya wins. Otherwise, Naoya might just get caught in the jackpot loop. Because realistically speaking, Naoya shouldn't have a more refined domain than Hakari. Hakari's had his for a while. And it just has like barrier feats that Naoya doesn't. Like literally moving the coordinates of the domain is a better feat than anything Naoya does. Domain versus domain. So if you just do that, Hakari gets on a roll or whatever, Naoya will just like run out of cursed energy and kind of just get cooked. But low key, it just depends on if you think. Hold on, let me grab the pen though, because it's just something Naoya does. Or like Jackpot Hakari obviously won't die from it. That's not really in contention. Where is it at? Yeah, like this little attempt right here, where they notice something's coming down, and then it's just like boom, Maki's hit. Maki reacts. Base Hakari, however, probably would not. If Hakari survives that and is able to cast a domain, though, it's up for Naoya. He's just getting caught in the jackpot loop. If Ryu gets a granite blast off on Hakari's head, he's cooked. I mean, maybe. I honestly don't think you're what you want to argue, though. If you were hell-bent on arguing that Sendai wins, you wouldn't want to argue that like any one attack beats Hakari. You'd want to argue that Hakari basically follows the fight in a similar fashion to like Yuta, to where each opponent is kind of stepping up to the plate as their hard counter gets knocked down. Starts with Druve as he's the weakest link. Kurushi pulls up because Druve is no longer there to keep him in check. Ura pulls up because Kurushi is no longer there. And then what would you say? Oh, then you would just say Ishigori pulls up, blah, blah, blah. And if Hakari pops his domain, like after Jackpot runs out, I imagine Ishigori and Ura will pop theirs in response. Mainly because they have no idea what Hakari's domain will do and will assume that it's probably lethal, similar to theirs. I mean, Uro might have better knowledge of what exactly a domain could be, like non-lethal, considering she is a Heian era sorcerer. But Ishigori, he does that like chest beat shit, and he's like, yeah, we open in domains, buddy. Hakari getting his domain correct pre-Jackpot is a death sentence. I'm not gonna lie. It just depends on how you think it goes. If you think the three-way domain doesn't happen, like say for example, Hakari's in the middle of, like, he has 2 minutes left of Jackpot and Uro and Ishigori domain, then he probably doesn't lose, right? It just depends on the timing, because it, you know, during those, if it's like, if he has 8 seconds left, you know, the domain opens, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, he'll probably get cooked, but it can go a lot of different ways, so. Doesn't Hakari's domain win in tug of war struggles? Even if it does, I mean, it's naturally better. Like, so here's what I would say. Like, I think the way it's explained, that non-lethal domains are naturally better at tug of war battles, but like, we wouldn't say that Hakari beats Gojo in a domain clash, even though one has a lethal attack and one doesn't, right? It's more like you're predisposed to having the bet, like you start higher, you have a better advantage, like and then it can close that gap. So Hakari probably would have better barrier techniques than Uro or Ishigori, but good enough to sort of stabilize the three-way domain plus Kuroshi's interference? I wouldn't say so. Because the reason the domain breaks is not only because it's a three-way battle, but also because Kuroshi interferes with the already very like unstable conditions. So that's what I see. Let's see. The jackpot loop sounds like me last night. All right, gang. That one guy, I say think of it too. Wicked Maki versus Sendai. Maki probably cooks. The main issue would be Ishigori, mainly because of his long range attacks. So, but taking domains completely off the table and probably making Uro and Ishigori waste them. They probably have never come across a Heavenly Restriction user in their life. So if they pop domain, waste all of that cursed energy, and get cooked anyway, it's kind of up for them. Uro's getting taken out immediately with the Soul Split Katana Slash. And Ishigori, I think Maki is more than maneuverable enough to avoid that. She's probably pulling off some similar shit to Rika, where she's like palming Granite Blast and maybe like burning herself, but not immediately being overwhelmed. That's at least how I see it. Like she's probably pulling some shit like this off, where it's like obviously a Granite Blast don't feel great, but I don't see any particular reason it should cook her completely. And if you wanna know why, like how I come to that conclusion outside of just vibes, granted this is a weaker Sukuna than what he is at full power, so it's hard to determine exactly. But Sukuna does like hit Maki with cleave, similar to what one-shotted Ishigori. Outside of that, she also survives a Black Flash and is able to come back into the fight without any major injuries, mind you, right? It takes her a second. Maybe she got flung far. Maybe she needed like her little 5 minutes to recover from having like a couple of ribs broken or some shit, right? But she also gets Black Flashed again and is not dead. Like we see Miwa protecting her from the domain. And then after that, Sukuna sends like flying dismantles that their output's increasing, and she survives all of that without seemingly lethal damage being taken. I don't think that Ishigori, for all of his output, is doing more, especially in one shot, than this, and this. I just don't see it, personally speaking. I don't think it's in the cards for him. Let's see. Granted, the problem now, little side tangent, right? The problem I have with Maki taking these Black Flashes specifically, the cleave is fine. You could say the cleave is weaker on Maki specifically because of the way cleave adjusts to durability and cursed energy, but regardless, right? She survives it. That's kind of like an interpretation that's half-baked, whatever, right? The problem I really have with these Black Flash tanking feats is just that Gege gave it to everyone. Now, everyone's a bit exaggeratory, but like LaRue tanked a Black Flash. Granted, LaRue was out of the battle, but LaRue's body composition was like, did not blow a hole in their stomach. It did not fucking do any of that. They were still capable of using their curse technique. It's not like a Sukuna Black Flash don't mean nothing. But when Choso and LaRue are also out here surviving that shit, it does, how should I say, lower the not even the validity, but the vibes of it, because we don't know exactly how strong the Black Flashes are. Gege kind of keeps it ambiguous. Now, you could just say this upscales LaRue and Choso. I think it's a little absurd, but it being absurd doesn't necessarily make it wrong, so I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Anywho, CNP animation studios, think of the two. What about Trafalgar Law versus Maki, Zoro versus Toji? I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know One Piece scaling like that. I know they get cooked. They get put in a fucking blender. One Piece characters, they have like very solid and consistent light speed scaling. Let me just look up what Zoro's Zoro. I'm gonna just look up what his post time skip basic versus battle stats are, and I'll be able to tell you right now. Yeah, relativistic to FTL, large island to multi-con. Yeah, the One Piece characters fucking cook Maki and Toji bad. I'm sure even if you made it equal stats for Law, Maki might still get cooked just due to how broken Room is and all that shit. At least from my basic understanding of it. M3D thing with a 5. I think if Kashima gets blitzed by Hakari's domain, then Ishigori most likely also does. Maybe, but Kashima also doesn't have a like an anti-domain, not an anti-domain thing, but he doesn't have a domain in which he can counter. Like in Kashima's case, he doesn't open Hollow Wicker Basket because he realizes that it's not important, it's not necessary, right? Here, I'll show the statement specifically. But it's not that he doesn't use it because he can't. He could have just opened Hollow Wicker Basket after the domain was cast. He doesn't use it because the sure it's not gonna hurt him, right? You know, he's faster, blah blah blah. The domain prize Kashima's real death, faster than he can give up on activating Hollow Wicker Basket, right? But there's no need to, right? If Ishigori's trying to like win in the clash against Hakari, opening the domain after the fact is still fine. And it's not like we haven't seen characters open a domain within another domain. In fact, the first battle we see in the story, domain battle I mean, is exactly that, where long after base form Jogo opened his domain, Gojo opened his, and they were still able to clash, albeit, you know, Gojo was able to, at full power, win against base Jogo. So I don't disagree with your point, M3D. I just don't think it means that the three-way barrier thing doesn't happen. And even if we assume, right, that Hakari doesn't have the conflict of having Uro and Ishigori open their domains alongside, Ishigori popping in and shattering the barrier just makes it worse, because now you have two characters with the domain in Kururushi versus one motherfucker without Jackpot and the inability to open his domain expansion again. Chihiro versus Maki. I don't know how fucking strong Chihiro is. I mean, Chihiro off aura. If we're going aura for aura, I will say that if we're going aura for aura, I will 100% say that Chihiro wins the aura off. I don't know. Chihiro's probably not strong enough yet, but he definitely has better speed feats that are more consistent. Like the reacting to lightning and then like Sojo and him getting multiple times faster than that shit is far better and more consistent scaling than anything most JJK characters have in their bag. Let's see. Maki and Choji versus Law and Zoro. Yeah. Most light speed scaling is stupid IMO for Jujutsu Kaisen or for fiction in general. Mahito raids the Zenen clan for shits and giggles. Does he solo? Yeah. There's not a disaster curse that does not do that. In fact, Jogo base form pulls up and cooks. Hanami base form pulls up and cooks. Dagon base form pulls up and cooks. Like they just get fucking obliterated. The Zenen clan is like cool. They get domain diffed. Because like even if they have like Falling Blossom emotion like an Naobito, obviously that's not infallible, as it wasn't for Naobito. None of them are as strong as Naobito. You can maybe make the argument that Naoi is the closest. And then on top of that, as like you could even, because we never see a character move with Falling Blossom emotion, even though it'd be advantageous to, you can even make the point that curse techniques and movement is antithetical to using that as a anti-barrier ability. So if that's the case, they get cooked like really, really bad, in all honesty. Ronin, get me out of here. I'm stuck at work. I'm sorry, gang. Once that AP goes up, Chihiro waxing JJK under than Gojo. 100%. Hold on, Naoya and Naobito might cook something. If Naobito's in there, their chances go up. For Mahito, no soul shit. Jogo, no. A lot faster, a lot stronger than Dagon. Hanami, probably not. Hanami's very fucking durable, blah, 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 doo. But Dagon, maybe you can make the point. But if you just say, I don't know. It depends on how you think Falling Blossom emotion works. Even Hanami, despite being held off by Todo and Yuji. I mean, at that point, Hanami is not using like either of their abilities that are particularly like high level. They don't use the flower shit or domain until the end. Like right when they're about to do it, Gojo pulls up, right? We know Toto has an anti-barrier technique, but if Yuji got caught in that shit, he'd be fucking cooked. Yeah, I also think Toto and Yuji probably cook a large majority of the Zenen clan, barring Naoya, right? Like all of the, here, let me show you real quick. All of these, like Ogi probably getting bullied, you know, very featless. Bullying pre-awakened Maki is like a loser feat. Almost anybody in the verse past Shibuya can do. Let's see, hold on. Where's the, what is it, 151? No, 151-3, she's fighting now, 150, give me one sec. So like, all of these niggas, Yuji or Toto could handle them. Like that they're featless, right? No curse techniques, no aura, just vibes and numbers, right? They're getting cooked very badly. Ogi maybe not getting done as badly as this, but a featless motherfucker all the same. And then like you can now Naoya is probably where you say shit gets real, but anybody before Naoya, and if you're counting Naobito as part of the Zenen clan massacre, Naobito as well, does not really put up much of a fight. Like these motherfuckers, like gun to the back of your head, give me 3 feats they have as a collective. It's like they're very not good. Don't get me wrong, they're made to look even worse because Maki's here, right? But these guys are semi-grade 1 or higher. They don't even like Kamo and like Mecha Maru in the Goodwill event hold a similar rank to them. And I'm not saying rank is the proper like equate, it doesn't necessarily equate strength, but if they're not even, if Gege wasn't even willing to say, right, the Hay is just grade 1 or higher, but semi-grade 1 as well, like, all right, bro, we know what they are. Not even a feat, give me these characters' names. Yeah, this is Chojuro. This is, fuck, I know this guy. Why don't I know this guy? Jinichi, that's his fucking name. And then, what's the other dude's name? I don't remember this guy. I don't remember him. But, you know, Chojuro and Jinichi. Yeah, I get a 66 on the test, chat. Anyway. Yeah, they're ass. Nagaline 3 cleanses is filled with bombs. Yeah. Naoya Naobito greater than Yuji and Toto IMO. Yeah, that's fair. Like I don't disagree. Naobito and Naoya probably put him in a blender. Especially if you think Toto's Boogie Woogie is less effective because his reaction time's going to be comparatively slower. I just don't think that problem really affects the disaster curses because what they lack in speed can be made up with 2 simple words. Domain expansion. Like it's up. So. Let's see. Yeah, one thing to consider too, as let's see, Tony the Horse says, not only do they lose to Maki, granted, this Maki's still impressive, but this Maki is like dealing with internal bleeding and shit. Like she had like moments ago, her fucking like internal organs were hanging out because of Ogi cutting her up, right? Like this isn't even the full power version of this Maki, right? It's not looking good for him. Okay, hold on. This is an interesting one. Cursed Naoya plus Kurushi. No, I say it like that. Kurushi versus Disaster Curses. I mean, I say it's a good one, but Naoya and Kurushi get fucking obliterated. The Hay had aura. Yeah, all right, bro. We just saying shit. I'm not gonna lie. We just saying anybody got aura. We just saying anybody got aura. Yeah, Naoya and Kurushi versus the Sasukers is they just get cooked. Naoya doesn't have anything that works on... I don't like. You could honestly just say Mahito pulls up and cooks both of them, to be honest. Like if we keeping it a buck. Like Mahito just says, hold on guys, I got this one. Hold on guys, I got this one. Kurushi is a Jogo victim and a Hanami victim and a Dagon victim. Not particularly great. Because here's the thing, right? Feet, like physical, feet-wise, it's not all that impressive. People like to give Kurushi relativity to Yuta for some reason. Like, physically speaking, right? And I guess I understand the inclination to do so. Because, hold on, let's see. Let me exit out of these real quick. I understand the inclination to do so because they fight, I guess. But at basically every point, Yuta is absolutely obliterating Kurushi. Right here in the first encounter, takes an arm, smacks his dumbass across the bridge, jumps over, cooks his ass again. You know, Kurushi's able to block with the bugs. And then Kurushi starts fighting at long range. Yuta slashes through some shit and gets caught off guard by the curse tool, which is fine, whatever. Right, but in the short exchanges they have, Yuta is pretty clearly more dominant. And then the problem that Yuta has is like not wanting to show off RCT. That's not an issue for curses. Like, oh no, you like attacked my stomach with bugs. Whatever will I do? Heal. Oh yeah. Right. So let's see. Any domain would logically bypass Mahito's ability. If Mahito was caught in it, then soul damage would not be needed to harm Mahito. What makes you say that? Let's see. Current Yuji versus 15-finger Megana. I'll put that on here, but Yuji gets embarrassed, dude. Hold on, versus 15-finger Megana. Let me see. Huge. Mahito top 15. Mahito's probably top 15. I mean, I'm just saying that off vibes, but probably. Like, the thing is Mahito doesn't really have the stats to back it up, but there are a lot of high tiers that just don't have a way to beat Mahito. That if you don't argue they have the cursed energy to outlast him, which Mahito's cursed energy reserves kind of go underrated, considering he probably uses his curse technique in Shibuya like 1,000+ times on top of fighting Yuji and shit, you're probably not outlasting him for the most part. Yuji finna one-shot Mahoraga. Bro, Sukuna doesn't even bother bringing Mahoraga out. And I'm not sure I think Yuji's one-shotting Mahoraga. Maybe, but I don't know how much I believe that. Like, here, let me show you. Let me show you how the fight goes. Excuse me. Here. Here we go. This is how Yuji versus 15-finger Sukuna goes. Would it be a better fight if you take away Shrine? It would definitely be a better fight because Yuji can survive a lot of Sukuna's punches much better. The domain plus slashing makes it a lot worse. At that point, then it's just like you have to argue Sukuna beats Yuji to a pulp, which is just less likely. Like, he probably will still win. I mean, he will 100%. But he'll definitely still win. It's a matter of it taking longer. But here's the thing. If Sukuna just has Mahoraga's wheel over his head, fights Yuji, whatever hits Yuji gets, and then he passes that shit over to Mahoraga, Mahoraga's cooking Yuji. Like, oh, anti-soul damage, anti-shrine, anti-blood manipulation, anti-your attacks, Mahoraga, go. Like, that shit's kind of... It might be up. It might be up. Domains neutralize curse techniques, even if they're on. Mahito needs his curse technique gimmick, or only soul to damage him. I get where you... Here, let me just show you an example of someone using their curse technique in a domain. That's not theirs. Let's see. Where is it? Let me find it real quick. Damn, bro. This one chapter, or this one fight is always elusive. I never know when... So what is it, 103? No, it's 102. Okay. Anyways. There you go. Bird strike being used, generally blackbird manipulation, being used in a domain expansion. They neutralize curse techniques that don't allow the user to hit the person. So like Gojo's infinity gets neutralized specifically because he's in specifically because his technique prevents him from being hit, right? If his technique wasn't that, his technique wouldn't be neutralized. Another example is excuse me. Another example is Gojo using red in Sukuna's domain, right? Even though the slashes are still going, we know that that Gojo's capable of using red here, right? Like, even though he's still within the range, obviously he's like, oh, he can't use reverse curse technique anymore, blah, blah, blah. Everybody's like, oh my god, is Gojo gonna lose? Like, there's two examples of curse techniques being used within there. Wouldn't it be the same with Mahito? No, because Mahito's technique doesn't allow him to not get hit. He would just take damage and then heal it with the soul shit. Like, it just wouldn't mean anything. Man, it's kind of crazy how with all the buffs Yuji has, he's still not beating most Sukunas. Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy that the massive fucking like insurmountable gap that exists between Sukuna, Gojo, and everybody else. Blitzing Ishigori is not that impressive. That's fine. I'm not saying that because Sukuna did this to Ishigori, he's doing it to Yuji. I'm saying this is what he's going to do to Yuji. It's not really healing. Sure, I'm just using it as shorthand. Let's see. Yuji doesn't even beat Mahoraga. In character, probably not. Like, okay, if he knows how Mahoraga works, he might open with, like, a domain or some shit. Something, maybe. Yuji basically has to prioritize, like, beating it the fuck down. And Mahoraga's physical feats are cool, but not enough for me to say he's, like, just overwhelming Yuji like that. Mahoraga cooks Yuji in the sense that unless you think Yuji's landing, like, a Black Flash off rip, he probably does, like, just adapt to shit. One Finger Sukuna? Oops. You can probably say Yuji beats One Finger Sukuna so long as he doesn't, like, domain. He probably beats One Finger Sukuna. Like, if he manifests, yeah, if he manifests on somebody, One Finger Sukuna might get, like, one shot by a basic soul punch or some shit. Do we even know what Yuji's domain is? The name, no. The ability, yes. It's just dismantle and assumably cleave. How did Mahito take damage from Mekamaru? Simple domain. And not just simple domain existing, but simple domain being like infused into his body to neutralize the internal barriers of Mahito's curse technique, which is like a very specific way to beat him. I'll put it like this: if simple domain alone was the way to beat Mahito, Todo and Yuji could have had this shit done way quicker. It's not just like a normal. It's not a normal application of simple domain. That Mekamaru is using in that instance. And even still, even when Mekamaru uses simple domain to hurt Mahito, by the way, Mahito's not incapable of using his curse technique. He just actually takes damage, right? Like, he even says specifically, I purposely timed my explosion for when he activated his technique. And once I deactivated my domain, he thought I was dead. Right? If he was able to blow himself up, that's a function of idle transfiguration. Right? And in order to trick Mekamaru, he dismantles his own domain and then pulls up. Right? But yeah, like a basic simple domain doesn't have that effect. is Awakened Gojo after mastering RCT after 1 year top 5 or maybe top 3? If you're talking pre-domain, no. If you're talking post-domain, probably. Pre-domain Gojo is like probably a domain victim. To like high levels, like Yuta probably would win. Sukuna, obviously, like a bunch of different versions of Sukuna. You can say Kinjaku might probably be able to win via domain, shit like that. But if you're saying like, because after the year, he still says he needs to work on his domain, right? So we don't know what state it's in or if he even has it. But if we're talking like after, then probably. M3D, thank for the 2. Ishigori over Kashimo is my new agenda, by the way. It's certainly a take. I think it disagrees with the narrative. If you're talking base Kashimo, obviously it's more likely. But I do think that it disagrees with like the point of the story and like them in their respective eras rather. I do think that Ishigori is probably stronger and more durable, but I don't think that he has any other stat that you can say is necessarily over Kashimo. And correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I don't even know if he has confirmed RCT. We just know he knows what it is, which like any competent sorcerer should. I don't even think we have confirmation he knows how to use it for himself. And if he doesn't, low key, he's a one lightning victim, right? Which is, you know, kind of unfortunate. I'll just put Ishigori versus Kashimo on here, though. Ishigori versus Kashimo. Let's see what else we got. How big is the difference between current Yuji and 15-figure Megana? If Megana's trying, a world of a difference. Sleeping Ninja thing with the 14. Strongest version of Sukuna Yuji can be? That's a tough one. Because the problem will always be Sukuna's domain is going to be better at every point in the story than Yuji's. Like, hold on. From Yuji doesn't have any domain feats. It's the first time he's ever used it. Granted, he does have like Kusakabe practice, I guess, with barrier abilities, but we don't know how far that how much that applies to the domain and what that compares to in regards to Sukuna. Even from like 2 fingers, right? Let's say you think Yuji's getting fucking like he's just cooking, right? If Sukuna opens his domain and Yuji responds with his own, that barrier's probably getting shattered, and Yuji's forced to use simple domain and hold out. Except this time he just gonna, like, after those 99 seconds or whatever the fuck, right? Sukuna's domain just won't stop because he won't need to make like a binding vow exchange bullshit. So it's kind of tough, right? If you eliminate domain expansions off the table, you could probably say he has a good chance against like 3-finger Sukuna, maybe like heartless 3-finger Sukuna or some shit like that, right? Because of the comparison to Toji. You can put into question Megumi's validity as a narrator, but let's assume he knows what he's talking about for a split second. If you say Sukuna at 3 fingers with no heart is relative to Toji and Maki, Yuji is in that general ballpark. Whether or not you scale him higher or lower is not my business. They're just kind of in the same scale. He also has RCT. He has blood manipulation to assist with that. And he has like attacks that'll specifically weaken Sukuna if they land. So without a domain, Yuji might be able to Yuji might be able to do some. He might be able to put some. He might be able to do something. Rosie destroys the disaster curses IMO. Huh. Megana gets cooked by soul punches, simple domain, and piercing blood. I'd be very interested for you to elaborate on why you think UG scales that high. Like, piercing blood is so funny. He can't even use piercing blood on his own. But like I agree that if they land and land consistently, Sukuna would lose. Yes, but I'm definitely curious to see as to why you think Yuji scales that high. There's no way I think Yuji only beaten 3-finger Sukuna. I mean, you could speculate on like, oh, how strong is 4-finger Sukuna? But I'm just breaking it up into 1, 2, 3, 15, and then 20, because those are the only ones we see fight. Everyone else is just like vague speculation on how much stronger he gets, and you can get into the weeds on that if you want to. But yeah. I think Hirose versus Yuki's a good fight, but I think Yuki's putting a hole in that bug armor. I agree. Yeah. You know, Sarah, you seem very opinionated. I'd actually like to hear you elaborate more, gang. Damn, bro. Such a fucking debate, bro. At heart, my first thought was Discord? Hop in VC? Fuck. Yeah, chat. I'm in remission, chat. I'm trying to do better. The pineapple guy thing with the 5. How strong do we think characters like Shosa and Arame logically are? Myself, I think Arame narratively should be strong, but they don't have feats. Arame's an interesting one because I do agree that their position next to Sukuna might imply they're pretty strong, but their actual feats kind of beg to differ. Like, y'all know, if you've heard me talk about Arame, you already know where the fuck I'm going, right? You already know where the fuck I'm going, right? But perceiving piercing blood as fast when you are, by the way, completely on guard and prepared to fight Choso is such an anti-feat, bro. It really, 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 really is. It's such an anti-feat. It's such an anti-feat, bro. It's really, really bad. No domain confirmed, right? Makes it tough against domain battles. Let's assume they have an anti-domain technique for simplicity's sake, right? Let's assume they have an anti-domain technique for simplicity's sake. Their technique is really good. Their stats just really suck. At least this implies their stats suck. Chosa greater than Hakari confirmed is crazy. So like Arame can beat a lot of people off of range, off guarding in a good matchup, but Arame is like a tough character to scale. They're very much like Uro, to where I think if you give them any other technique, they're genuinely like a grade 1 at best. But because their technique is so fucking clutch, which is not a knock to them, I want to make clear, right? Techniques are 80% of a sorcerer's potential, or talent, or whatever the fuck, right? Or talent makes up 80% of the full potential. A curse, I think a good curse technique is part of being a good sorcerer, right? It's not a knock on the character or them as a fighter. It's just saying their stats are not anything to speak home about. Their technique and their utilization of it is fucking clutch. That's what Arame is. Arame is probably around that like Yorozu Uro level of like, they would give Hakari, Yuta, Maki level fighters a tough time, but I don't necessarily think that they're outright stronger than them in any particular case. Yuji's completely resistant to Shrine. No, he's not. That's just like objectively untrue. Like you can demonstrate that he's not resistant to Shrine. And in fact, I got you. Like why talk about it when I can show, right? Let me show you. I won't even go off of my personal implications. I'll just go off of what's directly shown. Reverse curse technique is a big move you just learned, and you've healed 4 wounds that should have been fatal. Keep in mind, all of these right here, every single one he's showing up here are all shrine-based abilities. cleave, dismantle, dismantle, cleave. Right? He's literally saying that all of these moves should have been fatal, right? They would have been if he wasn't able to heal, right? Now, that's not saying Sukuna one-shots Yuji in this form, because clearly he doesn't, right? And Yuta saves him from a move that would have killed him, right? Because now, here's the thing. Because we know for a fact that a lot of these moves are something that can kill Yuji if he doesn't heal it quick enough, something like this gets called into question of like, dude, cleave was showing up not only on his chest, but also on his face here. If Yuta does not hit him with the don't move, Yuji probably just dies, right? So to say he's completely resistant to Shrine is just objectively untrue. He also, when Malevolent Shrine gets pulled up after Simple Domain breaks, loses his leg after being in it for some indistinguishable but implied short amount of time. Let's see. M3D thing for the two. To be honest, I just say this is Giga being smooth-brained in relation to the Rame thing. Potentially. Like I'm not against it. Like the narrative, you know, could contradict it. But yeah, I don't know. Arame is a tough nut to crack. Arame is definitely a tough nut to crack. Let's see. Chris HG, think of the two. How do you feel about Nanami versus Kusakabe? I say this with no ounce of exaggeration. Kusakabe puts this nigga in a blender. He's forcing Nanami to go back to that 9 to 5 or that 7 to 3 job that he was working. He just has better feats. Nanami's technique isn't good enough to close the gap physically, and Nanami also doesn't have RCT. So like something like this won't kill Nanami, but it's definitely not going to tickle. All right, it's definitely not going to feel great. Kusakabe's output is enough to that where he can stop. He can stop the World Slash from being charged up, so he can definitely stop Ratio Technique, and he's able to block Sukuna slashes from a distance using Simple Domain to automatically respond. He's just like overall a significantly better version of Nanami, like as an up close fighter. It's bad. It's bad. Ain't no way we're talking about this piercing blood. Fucking hell. Didn't Kusakabe say Nanami got better striking power than him? Nanami said he can hit harder, I think. Or no, Mei said it. Here. To be honest, in terms of horsepower, Nanami and I are far more powerful. What that means, though, wouldn't be able to tell you. Maybe you could say Nanami hits harder, and that probably makes sense, because Nanami is implied to be on par with Yuji in Shibuya, so Nanami probably does hit harder than Kusakabe, but it's not really all that relevant when Kusakabe is a lot faster, and via Simple Domain, that... Okay, let's say this, right? Maybe the point they're making is that without Kusakabe's wily nature, right, he's faster, or, like, Nanami's, like, better, but Kusakabe's Simple Domain seems to, like, greatly amp his reaction time and ability, right? Which is why he's able to obviously get off all these slashes on Sukuna. An underrated feat, or an underrated instance, since Kusakabe actually just got his own chapter, is just when he straight up responds and gets in front of Higuruma, in response to the slashes before anybody else does, right? Like, it's nothing too crazy or, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, in your face, but it is quite impressive when you think about, like, what was necessary to do that, right? They're all like expecting Sukuna's techniques to be gone, and then, you know, 1 minute Kusakabe's behind, the next minute he's up front, hand outstretched, trying to protect Higuruma. Like, Kusakabe definitely has better feats. So you can say, in order to square away both the statement and the feats, it's just that Nanami and Mei are stronger physically, and maybe when just amping themselves with basic curse energy, but that changes when Kusakabe uses Simple Domain, which is obviously an ability he uses quite often and consistently. Let's see. Kusakabe got a curse technique he'd put work in. 100%. Listen, I'm gonna say this right here, right now. One of the coolest statements for Kusakabe, and you can maybe put this into contention if you want to. I personally wouldn't, but that's because I know Kusakabe glazing, whatever, right? But let's see. This statement right here from Ino is really cool because he's just like, Kusakabe's like, damn, bro, how many of us could even fight in there with special grades? And Ino's like, bro, you get in there, gang. So there's definitely like narrative implications that Kusakabe is a cut above the rest, strongest grade 1, all that stuff. So, yeah. Guy man, think of the 5. Put end of series Yuji in Toji's place, and then an inventory doesn't kill Rico. I mean, he cooks Ghetto, right? The problem is, do you think he gets past Gojo? He uses his domain, and Gojo tries to block it with Falling Blossom emotion. It protects him from most of the slashes. Do the slashes do soul damage? They seem to attack specifically bears between souls. If you don't grant Yuji soul damage, it's a tougher fight, obviously. But maybe he's able to just wear down Gojo because Gojo doesn't have RCT. If you do give him soul damage, he just beats Gojo because soul damage kind of like hard counters. And then he pulls up to Ghetto, no domain, technique maybe on burnout, physically cooks his dumb ass, and then kills Rika. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. That get back gonna be kind of bad though. Kashimo and Yorozu do have 15 finger and beyond stats, but they lack in other aspects. That's why I don't rate them higher than Kinjaku. I think I'm gonna leave that alone. I think as a collective though, we need to put this is not a Sukuna thing, it's more of like a scaling thing. Never mind. Yeah, we're good. I'm gonna leave that. What is happening? Just talking about random JJK topics. People asking in chat, super chats, I'm answering. Yuji versus hidden inventory Ghetto. Those curses are no joke. I don't know. I don't rate them all that highly. I've been in hot water for supposedly downplaying that version of Ghetto, but he's not all that impressive to me. Or at least like he really skates by on a very like thin narrative argument that him and Gojo are comparable. And it's like, I guess. But like, so like a lot of the stuff is just like, because Toji cooks him so bad, you can't even get a good estimate for how strong exactly he should be. Like, for example, right? Take Rainbow Dragon. Rainbow Dragon's implied to be tough, right? Toughest of my cursed spirits. What does that mean? Toji one-shot it with Soul Split, right? But what does that mean? Toughest of all your cursed spirits. Can Yuji one-shot it? Is it tanking Yuji's punches like, you know, true form Mahito? I don't know. You can't really say, right? Tamamo no Mei, pretty cool, right? They're able to damage Toji with this, I guess. That's dope. I guess. Outside of that, how Toji kind of just chops it up after. Could you do the same with his dismantles? Who fucking knows? And in terms of physicality, Ghetto's feat is like beating up an old dude and then getting whooped by Toji. Which getting whooped by Toji isn't an anti-feat. It just doesn't help me determine where he should be. It just does not help where he should be. Miguel over Arame, Tochi, and Ghetto? You don't mean that, gang. Will it make Yuji's cleave any different than Soul Split? The way they're explained. Basically, there's more ambiguity on Yuji's Soul Slashes than there are with Soul Split Katana. His best feat is blocking Toji's bullets. Huh. Yeah. Let's see. Nah, dog, say it. I'm curious now. I don't think Kashimo or Yorozu scaled a 15-finger Sukuna in terms of whatchamacallit, in terms of physical abilities. Like speed-wise, fuck no. Strength-wise, also probably not. That's Kuchisanga Onna, not Tamamonome. Oh, you're right. You're right. I'm thinking of the other one he summons in Volume 0. That's on me. Okay. Google me, think of the two. What's your thoughts on Yuji equals domain amp Yuta in terms of ability? Like in terms of what, Yuji beating like Yuta in his domain? I think Yuta should probably still beat Yuji. Once again, it depends on how you... Okay, let me... I'm gonna have to explain this a lot with Yuji versus battles. So let me explain why I keep talking about, like, interpretations and shit. Because Yuji's soul-based attacks are not made so, obvious as to apply to every type of character in the story, or just those who house multiple souls, right? So... And I'll explain why real quick, right? Let's see where we got it. Okay. Sukuna. All right. So, yep. This general soul damage, I guess, maybe hype. You know, the boy will deliver a blow that captures the soul and tears Megumi from my body. Okay. Blah blah blah. Wooty wooty woo. Right. See. Yeah. They're targeting the boundary between my soul and Megumi Fushigura's soul in an effort to wake up Fushigura's soul, which I submerged in the bath, and disrupt the attunement of our physical forms, right? So obviously Yuji can attack the soul intentionally here, right? However, the context is, does this work on every character in the story? Like if Yuji punches Yuta, is his output gonna lower from soul damage, right? Or is this a specific counter made for Sukuna? The way it's explained consistently leads me to believe that he's attacking barriers between souls, which is something that applies only to incarnated sorcerers, right? If it does work generally, right, Yuji beats more characters. I don't think that we have enough evidence to conclude it works generally. And if you want a good justification as to why, here's another one of Sukuna's statements that's good to make note of, right? If you're like, oh, it's still pretty vague, whatever, right? Here, let's see, okay. There's another problem. They're applying the same principle that allowed the boy's attacks to have an effect on the patch face curse. Now you may be thinking, well, Mahito doesn't house multiple souls, right? So that means Yuji's doing general soul damage. I would agree if base Yuji in general did soul damage to characters in general. The fact of the matter is that he doesn't really, right? If this truly is the same principle as the type of attack that works on Mahito, except tailored to Sukuna as a combatant, then it's more than likely that Yuji's attacks don't do soul damage to 90% of the verse, right? The reason being, Awasaka doesn't notice Yuji's punches do soul damage. Esso and Kechizu don't notice that Yuji's attacks do soul damage, right? Choso doesn't notice that Yuji's punches do soul damage, right? These soul-based abilities seem to like be tailored specific to those who have like unique soul properties, right? And in that case, it's kind of like, well then against Yuta, you know, it doesn't really lower it. Google me, think of the two. I was referencing stats-wise since he was, someone else was referencing, what, Yuta versus Yuji stats? I mean, this should probably be comparable, to be honest. I don't see why not. So yeah. I'm not saying, I want to clarify, I'm not saying it's impossible this applies to most characters. I'm saying based on what we know, I lean towards the interpretation that it doesn't, right? Okay, stats wise though, I think they're probably comparable. I don't think that, like, obviously him and Yuta aren't going to be holding back in here. And I don't know if I think Yuta shows anything. Like Yuta is obviously the more dominant fighter in the domain, but stats-wise, I don't think he shows anything that, like, would lead me to believe to the contrary, right? I know a lot of people put forward, like, Yuji and Yuta were running alongside each other, Yuta relative, and that's fine, I guess. Like, that's cool, too. But Yuji just has pretty high stats gas at this point, and they seem to be able to work together pretty well. Even given the fact that Yuta has a lot more versatility within the context of the domain expansion. If Yuta is greater than, or if Yuji is greater or relative to domain amped Yuta, that should be Yuji greater than normal Yuta. I mean, maybe, but like, it's sort of, it's one of those things to where the domain amp is good if you're saying that these characters are exactly equal. Like, you get someone to acknowledge they're exactly the same, and the domain amp is some slight advantage. But it doesn't seem to be like, it's, how should I put this? It's not so much that the relativity still wouldn't be there, right? If you want a good example of this, Gojo's able to fight Sukuna inside of Sukuna's own domain, and yet still, when they're out of the domain, Sukuna is still able to react to Gojo's attacks. The domain amp is there. I would argue that the domain amp implies, honestly, two stats, obviously, but where it shines through a lot is in curse technique potency, obviously. But like, for example, right? You have this, right? Sukuna pulls up, Gojo catches his attack, dodge, go back and forth, blah, blah, blah. Sukuna even says he's keeping up pretty well, right? And if you're like, oh, okay, well, Gojo above Sukuna. I don't disagree, but it's not so much so that, like, Gojo should be blitzing, right? Like, and rather, it's not so much so that Gojo can blitz, because when he pulls up with the tricks and with blue or whatever, right, Sukuna's reacting just fine. He's doing this, he's doing that, and he does it a lot, right? Maybe you're going to say, Gojo couldn't use this technique. Blue was being negated by domain amplification. Well, if you want another example, right? There's this, right, where the wheel isn't blackened, and while Sukuna does get hit by by an attack, he's able to react to Gojo, and Gojo's able to react to him, vice versa, etc., etc., etc. So, like, yeah, if they're completely equal, Yuji would be greater than Yuta stat-wise outside of the domain, but not enough to really make that much of a difference. Like, they would just be relative in Yuji's favor. Yeah. How big is the domain buff? Yeah, that it's a question that I answered in a very long, drawn out way, right? In practice, the domain buff is not big enough to make a visual or like noticeable difference, like in combat, right? Like, if you're relative in domains, chances are you're going to be relative still outside of domains, maybe just with the other character having the advantage. Yuji by far is a better martial artist, though, but Yuta's a swordsman. I mean, yeah, Yuji's a better fighter. I don't know if I'd say that makes him, like, have significantly better stats, though. Kusakabe versus Chad from Bleach, but a battle of I can't imagine them losing. Yeah. The domain buff is a 20% increase. That's cool. A Black Flash is a 2.5, like, it's exponentially stronger than a base attack, but, like, It's not that these numbers don't mean anything. It's that these numbers, Gege often doesn't make them mean anything in practice, right? So like, what's a good example, right? Oh, Mahito can hurt Yuji with basic attacks. Mahito does not obliterate Yuji's muscle fibers with a black flash. Yuji can hurt Mahito with basic attacks. Yuji does not one-shot Mahito with a black flash, right? And there's an exponential difference. In fact, oftentimes characters are able to recover from black flashes, even when they're normally relative, quite often, right? So, like, that's fine, right? I'm not disagreeing because I know where you're getting that from, right? But it's just like, it's a good number, but in practice, it doesn't mean all that much. Who is the strongest character that JJK Zero Ghetto can beat? It'll depend on what, like, if you think Ghetto has in his disposal a cursed spirit that can open a domain expansion of its own, similar to Kenjaku with the smallpox deity, he can probably handle like disaster curse spirit level characters like a Jogo, Dagon, Hanami, whatever. I kind of renege on my point that I made in a video prior that I think he'd like out stamina Mahito, because Mahito has better cursed energy reserve feats on top of like whatever. But I think outside of that, he's probably like disaster curse spirit level, maybe a little bit higher. He's probably like relative to Yuki, but loses because cursed spirit manipulation's a bad match for Star Rage. So like around that area. Yeah, putting Miguel on Ghetto's level is crazy, by the way. UD Soul Dismantle is going to affect 90% of people. It's not like Social Katana or Idol Transfiguration. It's only effective against reincarnations, or I guess Yuta since he linked to Rika. Maybe, yeah. Who would win Mahito versus Toji? Unfortunately, Toji puts Endiga Mahito on a t-shirt. He's faster, and he has an attack that will, like, basically... He has two curse tools, right? That basically neg Mahito's whole arsenal. And he probably has a resistance to soul damage himself. So he's a very, very bad match. Very, 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 very bad match. We see domain buff make Dagon to Naobito stronger. He was getting destroyed before the domain. Dagon does not have like relativity to Naobito inside the domain physically. Dagon's able to beat Naobito's ass because Naobito can't see him until he pulls up, right? There's nothing that implies that stat difference fell in Dagon's favor. It's literally just shown like the force of the Shikigamis isn't slowing down at all. And then through the swarm, Dagon pulls up and punches it. Like, he just sucker punches his dumbass, right? And then Naobito loses an arm, gets slower, and there's still no implied, like, it's still not implied that with projection sorcery, Naobito is slower. Because Naobito, like, still reacts to the fact that Dagon's doing shit. And obviously, we know Naobito gets considerably slower after losing one of his arms. Play Wukong one day? Maybe. I'm not against it, necessarily. Where do you rank Miguel? Not nearly as high as other people do. Miguel is... I get why people think Miguel is impressive, but... like, he's cool. He's aight, you know what I mean? He's not particularly strong. I mean, he's strong. He is particularly strong. He's just not like niggas like to say like, oh, he'll beat Ghetto or some shit, and it's like, all right, bro, we gotta be honest. We gotta be honest. Like, he was like, Ghetto was the leader for a reason. You know what I mean? Not to say that, you know, titles or leadership necessarily determine strength, but there isn't zero correlation either. See, what the fuck was I gonna look up? Oh. Okay. Cool Blue, thank you for the 2. Oh, that rhymed. You play Smite too? Weird question, I know, but I gotta ask. Nah, I've actually never played Smite. When a streamer I like is a big fan of Smite. Doesn't really play it on stream all that much, but that's really only where I've ever heard it from. But no, I don't play Smite. I don't play Smite. About Yuta and Yuji versus Maki and Hakari. Yuta and Yuji fucking should obliterate. They should obliterate. They should obliterate. Probably. Maybe. I mean, I guess the question is Yuta versus Maki or Yuji versus Maki, because whoever's fighting Hakari is not going to lose to him, but they're probably not going to end the fight all that quickly either. It depends on how you think a domain clash goes. Even if Hakari's domain is stronger in clashes, it doesn't mean he'll immediately overwhelm his opponent, as seen Megumi and Dagon, blah, blah, blah. So if there's any clashing and it's like base Hakari going up against Yuta and Rika, he gets cooked. If you think he immediately overwhelms with his domain, Yuta knows he can't win it, whatever, then it's like for 4 minutes and 11 seconds, Yuta's just fighting Hakari, whatever, whatever. And then you gotta say who wins. Because if Yuta gets jumped by Hakari and Maki, or Yuta gets jumped by Hakari and Maki, it's probably an L. But it kind of just depends. It kind of just depends. It kind of just depends. Let's see. Chris HT, think of the 5. How do you think a hypothetical battle between max potential Yuji and max potential Megumi would go? I'd probably give it to Megumi. Although max potential Yuji is very insane too. The only reason I would give it to Megumi is just because I think like Mahoraga and 10 Shadows gas is pretty great. Granted, what I view as max potential Megumi is kind of, you know, glaze, whatever, even more cracked than what Megana does, personally speaking. Like, I don't even necessarily believe that that is the full potential of what the 10 Shadows can do. I think that's the full potential of what Sukuna needed it to do, and he min-maxed it very well. I think Megumi would use it quite different, have to use it different and want to use it different, blah, blah, blah. But I think I'd give it to Megumi. I'm not honestly mad if someone gives it to Yuji, though. Yuji has the Sukuna level potential statement. He's got Dismantle and Cleave that'll probably get stronger over time. He can refine his domain expansion. And then like blood manipulation, all this shit. Like he's not like it. Yuji's no slouch in that regard. I'm not mad if somebody gives it to him, but I'm personally staying in the Megumi camp. The Mahoraga shit, you know, Agito or individual Shikigami being used. I think there's a lot of broken shit you can do. Let's see. Leafblade, think of the 2. Is Kashimo the strongest sorcerer without a domain? Let's see. Characters without a domain. I have not been writing down any of these versus battles, but characters without a domain. Arame, interesting battle. Kashimo might lose on matchup, but I would say I don't know. Characters like that are kind of tough. Let's see. Who are the people in the running though? Kashimo, Arame, like Miguel. He's top 1 or top 2 probably. It depends on how you think Kashimo versus Arame goes. I think Arame is a very bad match because if she freezes any part of him, he can't heal, which obviously like basically just screws him over. But I would say having Kashimo there isn't crazy now. Aaron Miller, think of the 2. Let's see. Miwasoul is the entire JJK verse? Correct. Cool Blue 2, think of the 2. Once more. You got a PS4, I got a code for you, bro. Man, I wish I did, bro. I wish I could take you up on that offer. I really do appreciate it, though. You're real as fuck for that. I unfortunately do not have... Did I say PS2, by the way? I might have just gone for the rhyming scheme, but whatever. I don't have a PS5. I do not. I am unfortunately a PC gamer. But I really do appreciate it, gang. Thank you. That's how I know you're a mega fan, because I never heard of a nigga talk about Smite who doesn't know about him. Listen, King Naija. I am, gang. Like I gotta be honest, bro. I can't forget my roots. But yeah, that is exactly what I'm talking about, bro. Because I ain't never heard of Smite outside of that, bro. Fuck. Smite, until today, has probably never touched my ears outside of an Omega Pro stream, but yeah. Let's see. Sleeping Ninja thing with a 14. Shannon Sharp versus Jin Itadori. Yeah, you're a nasty nigga, bro. Yeah, you're nasty. I'm gonna say Unk, though. Personally speaking. I'm gonna say Unk, though. Yo, chat, quick question. Do y'all think Megumi, this is in relation to the super chat, Cool Blue, thank you for the 2 once more. Megumi and Yuji can both get Shrine, while Megumi can awaken. Do you think Megumi can have Shrine? Like, he's technically had Sukuna take over his body for longer. Low-key, he might be able to have Shrine. Low-key. It's actually insane to see you're also a Megumi watcher. Yeah, no, bro, listen, like, Paper Note, King Nija, like, trust me, bro. As a professional lurker, right? You know, I know what you are. But anyways, no, nah, why not? Explain yourselves, gang. Prime Toto versus Awakened Maki. Maki puts that nigga in a blender. He already has a curse technique, so what? Shadow Shrine is disgusting, by the way. Yeah, Prime Toto gets fucking cooked, by the way. There's no version of Toto that can beat Maki. It's really bad. Megumi can't have Shrine unless he rewrites his black box. He already has 10 shadows. Yeah, Yuji has blood manipulation before he awakens Shrine. And even if you said it in reverse, Yuji had Shrine before he got blood manipulation. Having 2 techniques is not like a non-starter. Like, whichever you think came first, Shrine or blood manipulation, I guess. He had Shrine first engraved on his body and awakened it later, or he had blood manipulation technically first and awakened Shrine. Either way, it's not really an issue. Let's see, the Beth might make it possible. Yeah. Like, yeah, and Megumi also was like complete, like he fully incarnated as Sukuna and was Sukuna for like the majority of a month straight. For as long as Sukuna has been inside of Yuji as an incarnated sorcerer, he's never taken over him for that long. And part of it is the muscle memory aspect. So Yuji special though, by nature of being a vessel for Sukuna, Megumi has to be. Yuji is specialer in that context, but I don't see why that specifically that speciality only applies to Yuji in that specific instance. Chris HG, thank you for the 5. Really odd question, but how far do you think Kidomaru gets in the culling games? If you take, there's like a data book statement where he says it's like his fucking bow and arrow shit's lightning speed. If you take that, highball it, Naruto scaling generally. He's like a mid-tier threat. He's not super crazy. No domain or domain analog. His stats are probably better than a lot of characters, but he's probably just like he probably gets like 50, 60 points on the board. Like if he's in a good colony, like if he's in a pretty like low, like if he's in Tokyo Colony 1, he runs shit up. If he's in Tokyo Colony 2, he might get cooked by Kashimo, maybe, but I'm not sure I believe that entirely. I don't know. If he's in Sendai, he might be part of the stalemate, although he's kind of like, he'd be closer to Druve and Kururushi than it would be to Ishiguro and Uro in terms of efficacy in battle. But Kidomaru probably like snipes a lot of motherfuckers, like just pulling up. I just don't think there's no domain confrontation thing, and also he's not a character that I can confidently say, aside from like that one data book statement that might not just even be true, is like super high scaling and speed department. Let's see. How would Gojo versus Sukuna go if he had an open barrier? He probably doesn't lose. Or maybe, I don't know. Can Ghetto use RCT on his curses? Or is Toge's curse speech crushing him in illusion? Oh, you know what? You know what? I have always wanted to talk about this. Because there's a person I follow on Twitter. No hate or whatever. Shout out Geezer if you're seeing this. You're not, but shout out you if you are. people like or geezer saying that Ghetto has RCT. And listen, if you think Ghetto has RCT, I was gonna say I don't give a fuck. I do, because I don't think that's true. But like, it's fine, right? You can have that opinion. The reason motherfuckers think he has RCT though is actually hilarious, and it's because of. Let me find it. It's in volume 0. I'll show y'all what it's because of. It's actually when you see. Damn, bro. When you see the reason, it's actually like kind of fucking hilarious. Let's see. Blah blah blah. All right, let's see. Jujutsu Kaisen. Volume 0. The reason is kind of funny. Also, he wouldn't be able to use RCT on curses because RCT for curses would kill them. Positive energy would like would just would cook them, and they can heal on their own. So there's not really much of a motivation to do so. All right, here's the reason right here. This panel right here is the reason people think that, right? And it's like, I get what you're getting at, right? I get what you're getting at, but I'm gonna say this right now. You gotta understand, it's just art exaggeration. And if you wanna be like, what, how? I'll ask you this. Does Panda have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 arms? Can Panda do the Asura mode shit that Zoro can do and I just didn't know? Oops. Because maybe I didn't get the memo, right? Maybe Panda really does have more arms like that. Maybe I'm tripping, right? No, I'm saying, is his curse using the RCT that heals him? Not can Ghetto use RCT on his curses. It can't be either because curses can't have RCT. I mean, that is 15 finger Panda. Fair enough. Fair enough, honestly. W point. W point. They're his siblings' arms. Man, fuck y'all. Fucking hell. Yeah, bro. I loved it when Panda had two heads too. That was sick. That was fucking sick. That was cool. But yeah, I basically disagree with it for the same reason I disagree with like any of that shit. It's like it's not a particularly good argument for it when art exaggeration like that is like it can be found like a page or two beforehand. Those arms would have been useful in this fight against Kashimo. He still gets washed. Cool Blue, thank you for the 2. I'm out, everyone. Have a good one. I'll watch video later. Appreciate you, gang. Appreciate you. What's try saying, gang? Let's see. How do you survive this? Hey, bro. Don't die. Let's see. When you've just won against when you've won against Yuda if he had decent RCT? Probably, in all honesty. If he could heal himself and then go back in there. Yeah. Bro, why isn't Panda using chanting? Is he stupid? Let's see. Let's see. Why can Rika use RCT? Let me see. Let me see if she does. I know she helps Yuta with it, or maybe. Here. Maybe there's a different instance you're referring to. But based on what we see, what Rika's probably doing is just helping Yuta be more competent at using his own cursed energy, because Yuta's the one using it. And then Rika like drags Maki off. So at least if I'm understanding your question correctly, or the instance you're referring to, Rika doesn't use RCT. Nah, Gege was on some BS hyping Panda's sister up just for her to get one tap. Yeah, that's Gege for you. I'm not gonna pretend and sit here and be like, no, bro, Panda. I really needed to see Panda's third core, but it is kind of funny in retrospect. It is very funny in retrospect. Why does no one else use chanting besides Gojo and Sukuna and amp their techniques? Are they stupid? Yeah. Also, no chapter spoilers, gang. But to answer your question, Rika is stated to be a Shikigami in the modern era. She's not back then. Yeah. In fact, you can take it one step further and just be like, she's his curse technique. Hold on. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Anyways. The question is, do they know chance? Whether or not they do, it's hilarious regardless. Jogo Maxim Meteor versus Maharaga? Fuck. Are you asking if it one-shots? I don't know. Sukuna implies that it would hurt him if it hit. To what extent? I don't fucking know. Is Sukuna being facetious? Maybe. If we're talking Jogoat or Jogo Super Volcano Mode 1 or 2, yes. I'm assuming you're talking about base Jogo, considering you didn't give him his title. And if you are, I don't know, man. I'll give you this answer. Anime version of Maharaga? Fuck no. Manga version of Maharaga? It's not gonna hit Maharaga most likely. Oh, maybe it will, probably. Maharaga might be fucking dumb. Maharaga might be stupid enough. I don't know. Its AP is questionable, and Maharaga's resilience after getting, like, obliterated also is. If it doesn't completely incinerate him in one shot, then no. But I don't think that base form Jogo's Maxim Meteor... I don't fucking know. I have no idea. W answer. Nah, but probably not. Probably not. He probably doesn't. I don't know. Like, it might crush it to death, but Maharaga probably won't die from that. I wouldn't argue Rika qualifies as curse technique, considering she's still active after curse technique burnout. Kinjaku's curse technique is active still after curse technique burnout. So there are examples of it. Chris HG, thing with the 5. If Yuji gave in to Sukuna's ideology, would he be stronger than he was for the final battle? I don't know. Maybe if he was like just starting eating motherfuckers, stealing techniques, Yuta style, perhaps. Yeah, fuck with this title, gang. Let me snatch that real quick. Yeah, no, for sure, gang. You can have it. You just owe me any video idea I like, bro. I will just be borrowing. No worries though. It's all good. Equivalent exchange type shit. Karapika dogging that little boy. Godspeed Killua might put Karapika with the rest of his family. I'm gonna be honest. Karapika might go back to see the rest of the Kurta clan. I gotta tell the truth. Let's see. False equivalence. Yeah, and from Tokyo. Wait, false equivalence for what? You talking about the 6th thing, or you talking about some other shit? Yeah, bro. Karapika is gonna go like for my Karapika is gonna go like for the Kurta, and he's gonna blink, and then Killua's gonna hold his heart in his hand. Hell nah, Karapika bullies. Yeah, we not serious around here, gang. Yeah. Nah. Bro. Bro was making Yuppie. Yuppie developed a new ability in anger out of fighting Killua. I'm gonna be honest. You probably right, but Karapika might go, so you wrong as hell. Don't get me wrong, Karapika's a better hunter. He's much smarter. But like half of his abilities don't work on Killua. His speed should probably be, well, not probably. His speed is abysmal comparatively. And unlike Yuppie, who could just bear the brunt of all of Killua's lightning strikes, he's probably getting like, he's probably getting done closer to like Poof, where Killua just like takes a part out and then just burns the cells. Like, I don't know, man. I simply don't know what Karapika is going to do when the fucking, why is this so small? When the right side of his skull has just been removed. I simply don't know what his next course of action will be. Maybe I'm tripping though. Like, he gets hit with one of these. Ah, damn. That sucks. Maybe Karapika can gaslight himself into, well, your family is the troops, so you're basically one of them. I fear these are Nen contracts, not binding vows. That shit won't be working here. But yeah. Let's see. Hisoka versus Megana without the 10 shadows. Hisoka is getting fucking cooked. Also, Megana without the 10 shadows is such a fucking, like, you could have just said Sukuna, gang. But yeah, Hisoka's getting bodied. Bodied. This nigga 6 actually fucking took the title. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, chat. Next good 6 video I see. You best believe that title's mine, chat. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Yeah, we locking in. Yeah, we lock it in, chat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anyway. He can tank with Emperor Time. Why? Bungee gum has the properties of both rubber and gum. Yeah, you're spinning. You glazing his speed too much? Alright, bro. He fucking perception blitzed Yuppie, gang. Poof was like, damn, even if I was in my full form, I don't think I'd be able to catch him. Like, what the fuck? Bro got to gone as an amped P2 post Nen death got to him. Come on now. Hisoka versus the Royal Guard 1v1. I need an answer. They're turning that nigga into paint on the wall. He took a big bang from Uvagin with Emperor Time up. Didn't his arm turn into peanut brittle? Maybe I'm misremembering. If I remember correctly, that shit shattered. And he also saw the attack and blocked properly with Nen. Something that is very important to his durability. If he's not seeing Karapika and is not blocking properly with Nen, which you kind of need to be able to allocate it and move it around. It's like a big training arc, actually. Then he's not going to be nearly as durable as he normally would be. But he could heal it. Yeah, no, I'm sure as his heart is beating externally, he'll run that back. I'm sure he'll run that back. Crollo could low-key beat Poof. I don't know. Maybe Poof stats are ass, but I don't think so. How far do you think Choso gets in a gauntlet of grade 1 sorcerers? Probably all right. Like he probably does pretty well. Probably does pretty well. Let's see. Hold on. 1 second. Hold on, bro.
I have no choice but to believe them.
Oh my god.
And I'm not.
Yeah, whatever. 6 is waffling about bullshit. Anyway, poison blood clears. I mean, a lot. Hold on. Let me see. Get a refresher. If Yuji's still grade 1, nah, he's cooked. And by he, I mean Shoso. If Nanami loses, Mei loses, Yaga loses. Hold on. Grade 1 JJK characters. I don't know if Toto's strong enough to put him down. Let's see, hold on. Naoya loses, as we saw. Jinichi loses. Ogi loses. Naobito probably doesn't lose. Well, I don't know. Yeah, he's a lot better. He might cook. Let's see. Kusakabe. It's a question of, can he put him down? I think you can stop Shoso from using his abilities for the most part, but I don't know if Kusakabe is gonna just like beat him down. Because Shoso is pretty durable, especially like what he shows off in Shinjuku. What he shows off in Shinjuku is indeed crazy. Killua Glaze is not letting him snatch a heart either. I'll just say this, bro. If your next reply is not a feat that Kurapika has that is comparable to blitzing a Royal Guard, fuck out my face, bro. Anyways, I want to see the treatment Shoso versus Nana gets in the anime. That'd be cool. It'd be if we really get to see it souped up, it'd be like our first real experience of a super anime gas projection sorcery. Toto versus Higuruma, both at their peaks. Don't know. Depends. How does simple domain work in Higuruma's domain expansion? If he can apply, if after the domain lands, because it'll probably land before Toto can put it up, if he's allowed to put up his simple domain and ignore both the rules and sure hit of the domain expansion itself, Toto whoops that nigga's ass like really, really bad. If he isn't and he gets his curse technique confiscated, then his curse energy is going to be disrupted. He probably loses. He's probably not getting the death penalty though. As far as we know, Toto hasn't done anything that bad. But he has like he assaulted Megumi. He's probably had like destruction of property, bullshit like that. He's probably had like minor offenses. Toto's a genius. I don't know if he's a genius at law. I don't know how that would work. Let's see. Anime Choso's about to fold now. Yeah, if Mappa's consistent. Yeah, Anime Choso's different. Anime Choso's on them steroids, bro. He kind of... I'll say Kusakabe takes it over Higuruma Deme, though. Do y'all think we're going to see any characters physically stronger than Miriam or just more hacks? I don't think we're ever going to see someone as strong as Miriam. Miriam's fucking insane. Let's see... Shinjuku Toto versus the Disaster Cursors might be decent. Maybe some of them. Let's see. Yeah, he scales above Uvigan many times over. Due to gaining experience, amped Kurapika should be bare minimum 3 to 4 times himself in the new arc. And Gon and Killua barely reaching that tier. Killua done for. Yeah, nigga, these aren't feats. You're just saying he should have gotten 4 times stronger. That don't even make sense. Like, yeah, bro, he got more experience. Vaguely. So his stats are 4 times higher. Like, alright, bro. You a gooner? 6 says so. 6 also thinks Yorozu's top 3. Nigga don't know what he talking about. Would you consider Nanika stronger than Miriam? Stronger ability. Worse stats, obviously. Now he's easily dodging piercing blood, and Arame thinks it's fast. You think Nobita would just beat the fuck out of Arame? It's kind of something, I don't know if I made this discovery or like this kind of realization on stream. If you think piercing blood shit is actually consistent for Arame, low key, maybe not a Naoya victim, but Naoya is kind of putting the mitts on him, like real bad. Nobita might low key, I don't know. 6 what? Yeah, six thinks Yorozu top 3. It is what it is though. I know what happened, bro. Someone paid him behind the scenes a bag to start arguing for the Yorozu agenda, and niggas sticking to it. Like I know what Six's game is, bro. So it's not even really something to dignify with too much of a serious response. But yeah. Mid-diff Yuki is funny as fuck. She versed 15 Finger Sukuna though. So did Ishigori. So did Jogo. So did Mahoraga. Fighting someone and losing badly is not a very good feat. But anyways. So able to recognize Boogie Woogie himself outside of domains if he could. If he could get out of Sukuna's, I think he could. Maybe, but the barriers might act as something that, like, disrupts his senses external to domains. I don't even know. Yeah. But, like, Perfect Sphere has uni AP if it hits, though. What did Sukuna say? If it hit? Like, yeah, that. Maybe. I don't think anybody's disagreeing that Perfect Sphere landing is bad for like 90% of the verse. It's just like, yeah, so are a lot of characters' techniques landing on characters. You know? If Yuta hits Yorozu with a Eureka Blast, she'll be cooked. Like, yeah, but nigga, the debate is like whether or not that scenario even happens in the first place. Oh. Yeah, no, bro. Y'all are funny. I gotta say, y'all are truly funny, bro. He used Mahoraga, he was trying. Fuck. Y'all are hilarious, bro. I fuck with you, Austin, bro. You real as hell, gang. You real as hell. Fuck. Got me crying. Anyways. Do you think Yuta knows small domain after Yujo? Probably. Look at this smug motherfucker. I miss Sukuna, man. Bro, he been gone for all of like 3 chapters. It'll be alright, bro. Let's see. I see what you mean about Yorozu glazers now. Hey, bro, I wasn't making that shit up. Bro, just think for 2 minutes, he literally took no one seriously. Nah, gang, he brought out Mahoraga. He was trying full power. Who do you think is the strongest curse spirit we see in the series besides Rika? Mahito. Yeah, probably Mahito. Obviously, we're assuming we're only talking about base form Jogo, because Super Jogo form 1, 2, or Super Volcano Mode Jogo 1 and 2, and then Jogo stronger. But like, you know, just talking the versions that most people know, probably Mahito. No, bro. Let's take this for a test try. This is looking like an extreme diff. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, chat, you gotta know, if you use a curse technique against your opponent, they scale to you. Like, that's actually a fact. So, like, base form Jogo scales to Sukuna, Mahoraga scales to Sukuna, fucking, a lot of characters scale to Sukuna, man. He uses curse technique. Actually, Sukuna is the king of curses. Yeah, alright, bro. Cockroach curse is right there, bro. Man, what the fuck are y'all talking about? Kururushi? Bro's not even in top 5 curse discussions, bro. What the fuck? Yeah, no, y'all are actually on something, bro. That is funny as hell. We talking about the strongest curses in the series. Somebody's bringing up Kururushi. Nah, bro. I ain't doing my job right, bro. I gotta lock in. Fuck. Rika destroys Mahito. Okay, so 2 things. 1, don't really think so. And 2, especially if we're not talking current Rika, maybe you could say Volume 0 Rika has like some pretty good narrative stuff though. Regardless, the question was aside from Rika, right? So 2nd place, basically. And then, yeah, I already said the first part. Let's see. He brought out Round Deer. He didn't even bring that out against Gojo. Yorozu greater than Gojo. That's real scaling. Fuck, dude. Where would you put Yorozu then? Like a fringe top 10 to 15 probably. Obviously, if we're interpreting the manga wrong, right? If we're interpreting it correctly, Yorozu actually scales to 15 finger Sukuna and actually stronger because he adapted and he used more Shikigami. So yeah. Rika, a Wing King victim anyway. Yeah, that's insane. Ganesha Curse versus Smallpox versus Kururushi. That is a battle of true blue genuine ass, bro. What? The Ganesha Curse, why they call you Unk? I thought you were young. Nah, bro, I'm 21, which basically means I'm old as fuck. 1 foot in the grave type shit. Round Deer was inside Agito. Are we even reading words or just shooting the shit like a picture? Boom. No, bro, here's the thing. Sukuna used them separately because he needed more allies versus Yorozu. Duh. Come on, bro. Read the damn manga. Come on, Mozane. Yuki versus Yorozu. Probably Yuki. Let's see. Damn, I'm 21 too. Guess I'm cooked. 21 not old at all. Listen, bro. Chat would have you think that you're literally you have a that I should be retired, bro. Fucking hell. Where do you think Curse Spirit Naruto scales amongst the disaster curses? Like pretty well. Like he's faster than I think all of them. Probably, yeah. I mean, he blitzes Dagon. He's probably faster than Jogo. He's definitely faster than Hanami. He's probably faster than Mahito. I think he's probably he's probably above Dagon Hanami. Maybe you can make an argument above base form Jogo. Stops at Mahito. I would say he probably stops at Jogo, but definitely stops at Mahito. Hold on. No spoilers, of course, but TCB is frying me. Bro, that shit got me so mad, gang. Like, when the fuck has TCB taken this long to translate a chapter, bro? That's how... I'm not gonna lie, I was looking to my left, I was looking to my right, bro. I was like, what the fuck? Like, since a Friday night, gang? I can't remember the last time I've had to avoid the internet in such a way for so long, bro. Fuck. I'm not even fiending for the chapter, bro. I just want to be able to, like, move on the internet without, like, my eyes being assaulted. Anyways, I'm sure TCB will drop in a little bit. Or maybe it already has dropped. Actually, I didn't see it before stream, so whatever. Anyways, I'll read it after, I guess. Regardless, no spoilers, blah, blah, blah. Wooty, wooty, whoop. Why does he lose to Mahito? No soul damage, plus worse reserves, plus probably worse domain. Somebody brought up MHA in chat, and I almost fell asleep. Holy fuck. All right, bro. Yuki over Yorozu, stop smoking meth. Nah, you're right, gang. You're right, bro. Yorozu over Yuki. Why? Yorozu fought Sukuna type shit. Kitsukuna one-shot Mahoraga with physical strength? Fuck no. I don't think so, at least. Honestly, the only person that probably one-shots Mahoraga with physical strength is, like, Yuki. I honestly don't think that even Gojo could one-shot Mahoraga just using a punch. And the reason is, like, it's pretty rudimentary, I'm not gonna lie. It's not, like, a super refined reason. It's just, when he goes to one-shot Mahoraga, he doesn't use blue or blitz with physicality, even though that should be faster than, like, setting up red. He goes for it because it has a lot higher output. So I imagine he's trying to, what I would imagine, my assumption would just basically be he's not confident he can one-shot it with, like, a blue enhanced punch. Yuki top 10, not gonna act like she ain't. Yeah, I don't disagree with Yuki being top 10, probably. I don't think she's super high up on the top 10 list, but I think she's probably in there. Did you give her hit a Black Flash? Nah. She would have been wild, though, I agree. Do you have Yuji in top 5? No, I don't think so. Sukuna, Gojo, Yuta, and Kenshaku. Interchangeable order, I don't give a fuck. And I'd probably put Maki and Toji above him. Sukuna uses domain on Miwa, so Miwa greater than Yorozu type shit. I'm glad you understand true JJK scaling. Gon and Killua in the Shibuya incident. They perform pretty well. Killua especially. Gon and Killua both do really well. If they stick together, they probably only really face trouble when they pull up on, like, Mahito or some shit. If Sukuna is out in the open, they're cooked, right? But for, like, a large majority of Shibuya, they probably do pretty well, in all honesty. Got Maki over Yuki. Yeah, apparently that is one of my hotter takes. I did not know that. But I got Maki and Toji over Yuki. Toji more so, not because Toji's stronger, just because Inverted Sphere of Heaven's a really good fucking counter to Yuki's abilities. But I'd say Maki can probably get the job done, too. M3D, think of the two. Frustrating how Yuji's a bit unscalable still. Yeah. That's a big thing. It's a big thing. Super Volcano Mojogo versus Ultra Awakened Miwa. Ultra Awakened Miwa wins. Even Jogo wouldn't really be able to do all that well against Super Awakened Miwa, to be honest. So weird how there's a lack of power creep in JJK, like antagonists from Shibuya are still top 15. Yeah. Some people like it, some people don't. I think it's interesting for the bare minimum. Yuki's overglazed just because of the black hole. I think anybody that argues Yuki's strong because of the black hole is pretty silly, but I don't think Yuki's weak at all. Oh shit, Anik, BR, I finally caught up to Kagurabachi. You love to fucking see it. You love to fucking see it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How you liking it, brother? How you liking it? How you liking it? The only answer I'm trying to hear is it's fucking excellent, bro. I expect to welcome you to the sermons. I expect to welcome you to the sermons. Hold on. Alright, let's see. 20-finger Super Awakened Miwa is damn near unstoppable. Type shit. Type shit, type shit. Who do I got between Choso and Roach Curse? Ugh. What a weird matchup. I don't fucking know. Pass. Let's see. What Yuki gonna do, or what Maki gonna do when Yuki touches her and she turns to paste? Oh, brother, I swear you guys just think that having an attack that can kill someone means they win. You know how easy it is to just say, what's Yuki gonna do when Maki hits her with Soul Split Katana? Like, yeah, nigga, both of them can one-shot each other. What's your point? Yudo one-shot Choso, he couldn't one-shot Roach. I'm pretty sure he does one-shot the Roach. But, like, I get what you mean. But he didn't kill Choso. I think he just knocks his ass out. And Choso after fighting and being off guard. I don't necessarily think that analogy holds steady. But, yeah. Second form Jogo versus Gojo. Jogo wins that. Super Volcano Mode 2 wins, for sure. Let's see. Didn't you off guard him? Yes. That's not to say Choso would have won. Choso admits that, like, he fights you, he instantly dies, but I just think there's context, right? Yuta versus Maki and Toji is the most first hit decides the fight thing I've ever seen. Yeah. It's literally like if Star Rage lands, you know, Maki and Toji are pretty much out of the fight, but they also have literal one-shot, non-healable abilities in their arsenal. So, how far does Sukuna get in the MHA gauntlet? He does alright, I guess. But MHA characters at a certain point kind of just like make him look like, I don't know, the king of mediocre villains, the king of like, I don't know, muggers. Like bro's not stepping to like all for one in Shigaraki in terms of like being a dangerous villain, I fear. You got Kashimo below or above Yuji? Kashimo, as he would fight Yuji, probably loses. Well, I don't know. That's kind of crazy to say because the lightning Yuji might still have like his RCT might not be good enough to deal with that multiple times. But the thing is like I think Kashimo as he would fight, which basically means no Mythic Beast Amber. He's probably a domain victim, but I don't know. I don't fucking know. I'd have to think about it more. Analyze, think about it. Does MHA have anything that can get through the Limitless? In theory, yeah. In practice, kinda still. I don't know. Reincarnated Jesus versus fully awakened Sukuna, who wins? Something tells me Jesus got that one in the bag. Ever thought about debating 6 on who's more of a bum between Kashimo and Hakari? Not really. Not particularly. Not come to mind. Let's see. Question for you. Hold on. What's your take on this? Sukuna misses Fuga, but it still hits. It does not kill Maharaga, and he adapts to that. Is Sukuna cooked? So all slashes are adapted to. The fire arrows adapted to. Obviously, Sukuna's blows aren't enough to just cook him. Maybe. It would be a tall order for Maharaga to get hit by the fire arrow and not die though, just because of the nature of it, like the way it fills up the domain. Assuming that it somehow does, maybe. I mean, keep in mind, right? Sukuna was confident that if Maharaga adapted to everything, like Gojo just wouldn't be able to deal with it. Let me see if I can find that real quick. Let's see. Like the red that like after Gojo's recovered his energy, by the way, that's the context for this. The red that that Gojo was confident would have one-shotted Maharaga before is not something that Sukuna is like, yeah, I'll defend and then have him adapt. So it's like, it seems to be pretty absolute, even for like the strongest characters. So if all of Sukuna's cards are taken off the table, it's either Binding Vow time or probably. And Anik, thank you for the 5. And thank you for the 5. Kagurabachi is magnificent. I'm sorry, Hokuzono, I wasn't familiar with your game. Hey, bro, we welcome you. We welcome you as a bocce, bro. We welcome you to the fold. Excited to see a new face on Sunday. Excited to see a new face on Sunday in the congregation. What's your opinion on JJK kind of being seen as a lower tier verse when it comes to power scaling? That's mostly true. Gojo kind of carries its reputation, in all honesty. Gojo does indeed kind of carry its reputation. Is 10 Shadows complete with Mahoraga tamed the best curse technique? Keep in mind, Limitless can only be used, right, with the 6 eyes. I wouldn't say so. I would say it's probably like second or third best. I'm personally a proponent of Idle Transfiguration being better. Does Mahoraga summon count as a win for Megumi? And if not, how come it's okay for Kashima to use this technique if he dies right after? I mean, I wouldn't count Mahoraga as a win for Megumi. The main difference is just that in Megumi's case, Mahoraga goes after him first, so Megumi's taken out of the fight first, and then the other person is defeated. Whereas in Kashima's case, if he wins and then he disintegrates. But I'm not mad at someone. If you say Mythic Beast Amber is a lose condition, I mean, I guess, but that's not really how I see it. Let's see. IT Infinity success. Yeah. Finished with the 6 eyes, Idle Transfiguration and Copy or top 3. Copy kind of got a little worse, not gonna lie, in my eyes at least. But I still think it's pretty high level. I think it's still pretty fucking high level. I think Takabe beats Mahoraga. It depends on how the adaptation works. If being affected... Okay, let me give you an example, right? Let's see. So let's say this whole thing, right? This whole gag. If being a part of this gag counted as stimulus for Mahoraga to adapt, Mahoraga wins. If it only counts when Takabe hits Mahoraga with something, right? Then it's a little bit more shaky. But like some bullshit of just being affected by the comedian, yeah, Mahoraga would win because it'll just have a, I don't know, anti-comedian bullshit. But yeah. Copy also does get less useful if you don't have Rika. That is a good point, because you can only store a certain amount of abilities. You think Maron keeps World Slash after he's desummoned? No way to tell, in all honesty. I wouldn't bank on it. Maybe Sukuna's version would, but I don't know if I think that you keep that that Mahoraga keeps the things it's adapted to. Can't even kill people. I mean, he can't kill people. I don't think he'd have a problem killing a Shikigami. Mahito versus pre-awakened Gojo. Mahito probably wins. Falling Blossom Emotion won't work on Idle Transfiguration. And it's dubious as to whether or not he had Simple Domain at the time. Maybe you could say he did, but it would break down and then he just loses to the domain. Let's see. Kill anything that's not... Big Rocket gets one shot. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if Takabe has any feats with the comedian that I think would lead me to believe he's one-shotting. Personally. Like, he one-shots this special grade or whatever. But, like, you know, special grades don't have to be all that strong. Just by nature of being a special grade. Shit could range from, like, a fucking Mahito level curse to the first finger bearer. But yeah. I think Mahoraga's base durability is pretty good too. Does this mean Megumi has lost most of its Sen Shadows, or does it still have them? I think Gege makes a distinction that Megumi Sen Shadows and Gege Sen Shadows are different. That's why, even though Sukuna lost the ability to use it after Mahoraga was defeated, Megumi was still able to dip Sukuna's leg in the shadows. Let's see if I can find the... Yeah, here we go. Nope, that's... Here. Just change Malevolent Shrine to Mahoraga, where he does this a little bit. Or he does this a lot, rather. But Mahoraga got wasted and my Ten Shadows technique has stopped, so this is Megumi Fushiguro's. The boy's mantle has breathed life into the soul, so Megumi's technique seems to be considered different. Wouldn't Comedian be more complex than the Limitless? That would take over 10 spins. Mahoraga dies. Just conjecture. Couldn't tell one way or the other, to be honest. Like, what determines complexity? Like, the Limitless manipulates space-time on an atomic level. How the Comedian functions specifically is ambiguous. Hard to tell. But yeah. So I don't understand, why did Sukuna lose access to the Ten Shadows after Mahoraga dies? The only conclusion I can draw based on that information is that if a tamed Mahoraga dies, they lose access to the ability. But what could be the case is just that Sukuna lost possession of all of his Shikigami. Agito got cooked by Gojo, and then Mahoraga died. So all of Sukuna's 10 Shadows Shikigami were destroyed, and then the technique was lost to him. Do you think ranking systems in series are pointless? They become obsolete so fast? I think they're pointless insofar as power scaling debates, but I don't think they're pointless in terms of narrative. Personally speaking. I don't really think they're pointless in terms of narrative. 6 here still in your entire flow. That's a little bro for you. It's all good. In a straight fight, can Kenjaku beat Yuta? Potentially. I don't think Kenjaku like low dips Yuta the way a lot of people are seemingly convinced. But I think it's an extremely high diff fight either way. I'm not super mad if someone thinks Kenjaku does, but Kenjaku does have some like anti-feats or rather anti-statements, I guess, that kind of go against him being as crazy as maybe like Yuta haters or Kenjaku fans would like to push forward. Who's more attached to Pop, Creams, or Six? I don't know. It's different for both of them, you know what I mean? They look up to me, respect me, want to be me. It's all right, though. You kind of just got to let stuff like that rock. If Megumi and Sukuna 10 Shadows are different, why did Sukuna not need to subjugate Niue? I don't know, bro. Aura? I wouldn't be able to tell you, though. Based on the statement, Sukuna seems to make a distinction, but I wouldn't be able to tell you why he doesn't have to. Maybe he summoned Niue and Niue was just like, yeah, bro, I'm not fucking with that guy. Who in the verse is surviving a Black Flash from Yuki? If a Black Flash, if we're going by like how Gege actually kind of sets it up and it's exponentially stronger, no one. If we're just saying it's like just a vaguely stronger punch, Gojo, Sukuna, maybe even Kenjaku. Yeah. Cause like, yeah. Gege's pretty inconsistent with how much more powerful getting hit by that Black Flash enhanced attack really is. I say maybe Kenjaku only because like the base attack broke through his arm, but it it might like, I don't know, like tear his fucking jaw off, but it wouldn't kill him, I don't think. Yuki, after using RCT, also hits him with a little combo that he doesn't die from. Obviously, he's injured or whatever, but it doesn't kill him. Now, there's a problem with this, right? Before this, right, we know that Yuki's star rage output is lower, because like she needed to heal, right? And then we know that during the RCT process it got weaker. Now, this means one of two things for Yuki, right? Either her RCT is so not impressive that one use of it I mean, granted, she is healing a lot, but I don't know. It would just be that one big use of RCT basically means her output plummets, or it just means that she got unfortunately hit with that, like that curse of like the first showing never comparing to the second showing. Like the way Star Rage is displayed the first time, just not holding up to the way it is the second. Either one's not really particularly great, but you know, it is what it is in that regard. Wouldn't Yuki's punch and Kenjaku's gravity bypass neutral infinity? Gravity, maybe. Yuki's punch, I don't know. Which Black Flash is the most accurate to the 2.5 boost? Probably Yuji's final one against Mahito, if I just had to think of one off the top of my head. Because I think it's the only one where the Black Flash has like a notable difference where the base attacks don't work, right? The anime really gasses it up a lot, right? But Yuji hits this nigga Mahito straight in the fucking chest, and it does nothing, right? The anime just has Mahito stand there while Yuji like fucking barrages him, and then the Black Flash not only does damage, but completely fucking one-shots his ass, right? So you can maybe say that this is probably the most accurate. But a lot of other things are pretty, I don't know, you know? Yuki ignores concepts, whatever that means. Yeah, I don't know what that means either, bro. I'm not gonna lie. RCT is better than Sendai Yuta, who bought him out after healing his hand like 3 times. She healed herself once, and Yuta healed every time he got hit with Granite Blast or Uro. That's what Ishigori says. But let's see. Yeah, he got hit with Granite Blast a couple of times. Or every time they hit you with their big move. So 2 Granite Blast, Icebreaker, another Granite Blast. Yeah, like 4 or 5 times. Let's see. Yeah. Not a great showing either, though. Look, I'm not gonna pretend that his RCT was like particularly great there. I think you're finally bottoming out, but yeah. It says Flash Black. No. You read it right to left. Black Flash. Black Flash. So an interpretation that said Star Rage essentially ignores concepts and that her technique isn't targeted properly. I don't know. Maybe. Like, sure, I guess. I don't know. Gege kind of loses me with some of the more intricate physics stuffs of like the Ganesha curse or Yuki's abilities. I don't even pretend to be in my depth with that stuff. Do you think Gojo was winning that fight when he first came out of the box? Him versus Kenjaku, 15-finger Megana, and Arame. That is indeed a toughie. Kenjaku and Arame are non-factors. He can literally like blitz and one-shot Arame. Kenjaku is running for his fucking life. I don't know. It depends. Like, is Sukuna being weaker affect their domain clashes? Maybe. And if so, Gojo wins. I don't know. That's a tough one. Gojo at least was not so confident that he would win that he wasn't willing to get it. Like, I think if Gojo truly thought with certainty that he could fight that and win, no real issue, he wouldn't have gotten his affairs in order. That's how I perceive it, right? I think he's partially being, like trying to bury Kenjaku, bury Ghetto's body on the same day. But we know that before this, he had no issue with it, right? Before Sukuna pulled up, he was down to just kill him right here, right now, right? I think Sukuna pulling up gives him an excuse to do that. But I also think that he's unsure, like he's unsure that he'll win. Not unsure that he'll win. I think Gojo definitely believes in himself, but he's not 100% certain. It's possible though. Like 5 fingers is a decent difference, right? I've got things to do before I fight him, right? So, yeah. I think he's being cautious, but I think he wins that. That's not crazy to say. I just think if Gojo's being cautious, it's probably like a decent fight. Like, I'll put it like this, right? If Jogo, Hanami, and Dagon pulled up, right? He's not being like, fuck, I got things to do before. He'll just kill them all together, right? It's a matter of it being enough to warrant caution from Gojo that kind of has me worried. He'd kill Arame and Kenjaku 2v1 hot take. Yeah, no, not a hot take at all. He easily does. Top right panel. Wait, Sukuna, keep your promise to me before fighting him. There's also that, yeah. Kenjaku is also worried that Sukuna will die here. I don't think it's crazy. Shift over, I've returned to a good place. That's good, brother. That's good. You love to see it. You love to see it. What if Red clashes with Fuga? Red is getting so badly beaten there, bro. It's not even close. Red is kind of, no, it's not ass. Gojo's probably holding back when he uses it the first time, but okay, I'll just put this forward, and I'll let y'all judge it how you judge it, right? Hold on, let me double check something real quick. Let me make sure. Does fire arrow get weaker without the domain? It has firepower, but the flames aren't fast. Effective range is short. Okay, so I'll let y'all determine how you feel about it, right? So a most likely not full power red on Jogo. This is the damage that he's left with. A not full power fire arrow on Jogo. Jogo actually clashed with the attack as well, or at least attempted to. This is what he's left with. I think I got my answer. Probably late to this, but is 6 copying your stream right now? Yes, Lil Bro is trying to be like Big Bro. It happens. It's alright though. It happens. Coughing red versus hydrogen fuga. Yeah. Purple versus the fire arrow. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. They seem destructive in like almost entirely different ways. But yeah, let me see. Anyways. Jacob's ladder has only been used on Sukuna, hardly an anti-feat, blah blah blah. Red will blow the fire, but it doesn't push force. It is also made with positive energy. It's a curse technique reversal. It's not positive output. Gojo can't output positive energy. Is it true that purple erases matter? Is that a common misconception? It's a misconception that I've had in the past, but based on what we see, it does not erase matter. I think people get that from the imaginary. It's an imaginary technique. It's the convergence of both infinities, but like, here's an example of it not doing that. Hanami, the way Hanami survives. Okay, so like here, right? It hits Hanami. It takes out this chunk, but their rib like cage thing is still there. It's not a clean cut, and the fact that it isn't probably implies that it doesn't just erase matter like that. It also didn't one-shot Sukuna, so it doesn't. Unless you think Sukuna has like a resistance to like existence erasure or some shit. Miguel versus 15-finger Sukuna. Y'all are mad disrespectful to 15-finger Sukuna, bro. Y'all are mad disrespectful to 15-finger Sukuna, bro. Let's see. What if Gojo was locked in the hyperbolic time chamber for 1,000,000 years? What if Gojo was betrayed and trapped? Like fucking those Dragon Ball what ifs. That's funny as hell. I don't know. If not positive output, then what is curse technique reversal? I think it's basically just let's see. What would be a good analogy to explain it? It's just using cursed energy against cursed energy to invert the nature of your curse technique, right? So if blue pulls, red pushes, right? If Kenjaku's anti-gravity system is anti-gravity, reversing it gives it gravity, right? It's not that it's positive output, it's that they're using their ability to reverse their cursed energy to reverse their curse technique as well. Thus, curse technique reversal. Okay, does 15-finger Sukuna get through Shinjuku Showdown? If Sukuna pulls up... Okay, if Sukuna pulls up, right? And he has all of that power... Here's what Yuta thinks would happen, right? I'll let Yuta and Sukuna convince you, right? Let's see, where do we got it? Where do we got it? Yuta and Sukuna say two things that are very important to know. Excuse me. Okay. The first, let me exit out of these real quick so I know. Okay. If it weren't for the fight against Gojo Sensei, Sukuna would have healed and wiped us out instantly. That's Yuta's. And then here's the second thing, right? Ishigori, the person that we know Sukuna can one-shot, right? Basically, this, oh my god, bro, this goddamn translation sucks. Hold on, let me go to TCB real quick. I think it has it being a little bit clear. All right, whatever. 1 second. What chapter is this? 250? All right. Basically, what it shows, though, is that neither Yuji nor Yuta are as tough as him, right? If I don't come direct contact, I won't be able to leave a fatal wound, just as it was with him, although I wouldn't say they surpass him in toughness, right? So if they're not tougher than Ishigori, and Sukuna can one-shot Ishigori with cleave, with 15 fingers, of course, then I would say that no, they don't win. Especially if Sukuna has a domain off-rip. If Sukuna is starting the fight with a domain and he's just 15-finger Sukuna pulling up, yeah, they're cooked. It's so bad. Not being able to use a domain for as long as he did really did allow them to continue pouring on the damage.
it's not
great for it's not great for the Shinjuku showdown, guys, if Sukuna's at full power. Toji versus Disaster versus Playful Cloud only, and they're jumping in with full power. Toji might lose then. I mean, Hanami, Dagon, base form Jogo all get cooked. The main thing is just because none of their domains are all that important. It's just like the question is, do you think Toji's physical stamina outlasts how much cursed energy Mahito has? If yes, Toji wins. If no, Mahito wins. Because Mahito's too slow to really land multiple, if any, idle transfigurations. And Toji's probably, his soul is particularly strong. So even one or two probably wouldn't be enough to kill him in the first place. A domain would do the trick, but obviously Toji's immune to domains. So what is a simpler fight becomes a war of attrition that you can coin flip and decide who you think has better stamina. The fact that Three Finger Sukuna can solo the entire cast outside of Sukuna even now is wild. Yeah, very. What if you think Yuta can use a small domain? How does that affect the fight with 15 Finger? I think Yuta can use a small domain. I don't think that really matters because, okay, let's say Yuta and him clash, right? What happens is just that they're fighting outside and Sukuna just Ishigoris them, kind of, right? He's going to be a lot faster and his attacks are going to have more output, right? Toji loses because he canonically fights only children. W Toji Hito Balek. Nice to see you on your A game, gang. Let's see. My favorite exchange post Gojo. Haha, we cheated. Hold on. I want to show y'all. Hold on. It's this one, but I want to show y'all my favorite fucking page. Or this is my favorite Yuji drawing in the modern Gege style era. Hold on. Let me show y'all real quick. Let me see if I can find it. Cleaned up. This right here, I don't know what it is. The eyes almost kind of give me Horikoshi vibes. Maybe I'm glazing, I don't know. But this is my favorite. Like, this is the coolest. Obviously, barring like actually doing something sick, just the actual vibe he gives off. This is the coolest Yuji's looked in Gege's newer style for me. I really fuck with it. Random side tangent, but we're talking about favorite exchanges. I fuck with this look. Yuta's cool. Probably not my favorite, but Yuta's cool. I love this look for Yuji. I fuck with it hard. Unfortunately, it's really obscured by the text in most of it, but I fuck with the cleaned up page. Was it ever explained why Yuji was so strong when Sukuna stole Megumi's body? No. Not I can kill Sukuna panel. So that's kind of what I meant where it's different, right? I think I like the drawing more here. I think that obviously the instance is cooler there, right? Don't get me wrong. Very sick moment from Yuji. But I'm just saying I like the way, like, obviously this is a cooler moment, right? That's what I'm saying, like, compared to, but I think it's cooler largely because of what he's saying and the reference. I just like the drawing. I like it from that angle. I like the way Gege drew Yuji there. I fuck with it. But yeah, this is obviously a great moment, great contender. I'm not mad at having it above. It's just different. They like the style even only like 20 or so chapters apart kind of gives a little bit of a different vibe. But I fuck with both. Let's see. Because the top 5, excluding Gojo and Sukuna, beat 15 Finger in jumping. You lay out who you think the top 5 is, and I'll tell you if I think they can beat 15 Finger Sukuna. What chapter is that from again? 250. It's from chapter 250. Yeah, your boy Plank. You tell me who you think the top 5 is, and I'll tell you if I think they can beat Sukuna together. Do you think Gojo could have learned an open domain? I think Gojo, like, this is no glaze, because I don't even fuck with Gojo like that. I don't think there's an ability in the story that any character can learn that Gojo wouldn't be what's the word I'm looking for? He wouldn't be capable of learning. I don't think so, at least. Probably so. I just don't think he thought to or even knew that was, like, something to do. Rame versus Yuki. Yuki probably wins. Garuda's pretty good, plus domain. Which character do you think has the most of the best panels in the manga, speaking of looks? Yuji's an obvious choice. Sukuna's a really good one. Gojo's a really good one. They're probably top 3. So do I think a team of Yuki, Kenjaku, Yuta, Maki, and Hakari could beat Sukuna? Here, let me write that down. Yuta plus Maki plus Kenjaku plus Yuki plus Hakari versus 15 finger Sukuna. I think Kenjaku pulls his weight pretty heavy here off of the domain shit alone. But I think stats-wise, they're so outmatched, bro. It's really bad. Like, and this is no hate. This is some hate. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna lie to y'all. It's some hate. Moderate hate. Medium amount of hate, right? Medium amount of hate. But I also think it's true. I also just happen to think it's the case. This is happening to base Hakari. Like, to kick off the fight. This is happening to base Hakari to kick off the fight, I fear. Now, granted, he might still be able to pop a domain after that. That's not to say he's... Oops. That's not to say he has to be out of the fight completely. But, oops. Okay, here we go. But I will say that it's not looking excellent for him. Hakari top 5 is crazy, but we letting it rock. How does Kenjaku's domain do again? I hear nobody talk about it. Gravity. Really heavy stuff. Really, really heavy stuff. If you take Tengen's statement and you think that means his domain is better than Gojo's, or not better than Ghetto's, better than Sukuna's, then he might be able to hold off Malevolent Shrine. But I think Sukuna is very aware of how good of a barrier user Kenjaku is and probably deals with that accordingly. As for Yuki and all that, Yuki does not have enough durability. Maki, Yuta don't either. It's not looking good for him. Kashimo, Kenjaku, Yuta, Yorozu, and Yuji. What if Yuji's overkill? Then hit an inventory Toji or Yuki. No plans because Kenjaku's too dangerous. Just jumping him straight up outside of 7-Eleven. All right, hold on. Let's get the new battle going. So what are we saying? Kashimo plus Kenjaku plus Yuta plus Yorozu plus Yuji versus 15 Finger Sukuna. Kashimo's obviously a victim. Yuta, Yorozu, victim. Yuji, victim. Kenjaku. So, let's see. Kashimo can get taken out by regular slashes. We know that. Yuta can't without a close range dismantle or a cleave. Yorozu in normal slashes. Dear God, she gets hurt by those so easily. Outside of bug armor. Maybe bug armor helps her. Kenjaku's durability, pretty ambiguous. He might be able to take a couple RCT through others. I don't know. I mean, they probably... They probably lose, in all honesty. Yuji is going to carry a lot if they keep him alive of just wearing down Sukuna. But not wearing him down is really going to be an issue because he's just going to last longer. He can also do something that most other characters can't, which is continuously use a domain in a similar style to Gojo. We don't even know if Kenjaku can do that, right? So let's say they clash, both their techniques burn out or whatever, right? All right, cool. Give me a second. I'll heal my technique, or I'll just open my domain again. You know what I mean? Guess I'll just open a domain again. You know what I mean? Like, it's not looking super great. How do you think current Yuji versus Shibuya Yuji goes? Current Yuji absolutely spits on and slaps his old self. Do we even have a combination of 5 characters that don't include Gojo that beats 15 Finger Sukuna? Unlikely. Maybe with planning, like super extensive planning, but not really. Sukuna doesn't have the same like character limitations that Gojo did, i.e. like planning around civilians and shit like that. CNP Animation Studios, think of the 5. Yuji versus Avatar State Aang, Nobara versus Katara, and Megumi versus Zuko. Avatar characters are pretty fast. They like, I know Zuko and Aang specifically can redirect lightning. They just have like very obvious, very direct lightning timer shit. Yuji does not as clearly. Zuko or Megumi does not as clearly. Nobara definitely doesn't. I think the Aang gang makes a clean sweep. To be honest, Aang gang might make a very, very clean sweep. TBH. Let's say Jackpot Hakari has gotten his hands on Soul Split and Inverted Spirit. Could he run the ones with Sukuna? Fuck no. Nah. I don't think so. No. Okay. Avatar characters aim dodge, though, or redirect. I mean, there's a scene where Zuko sees Azula shoot lightning at Katara, and after it's launched, he runs in the way and intercepts it. Yeah. Yuji versus Tanjiro. Yuji. Let's see. Can Katara control Choso's blood? Probably. Oh, someone asked me this earlier. Let me make sure it was in a super chat that I missed. Oh yeah, it was. I'm so sorry. K Gil Slayer. Think of the 5. Prime Yuji versus Prime. Oh, this is Prime Tanjiro. I'd say Yuji. I think someone asked me Yuji versus Yujiro, and if that was the case, Yujiro slams that nigga into the concrete. But Zuko is him, though. You can't count that. That man's not normal. That man is indeed not normal, and he is indeed him. That is fair. It's a fair point. What mic do you use? Elgato Wave 3. Let's see. I think it'd be funny as hell to see the King of Curse get played by other animes. Yeah, it happens quite a bit, honestly, to be honest. Aang versus Sukuna. Fuck. I haven't done my research for my Avatar versus JJK video yet, but let me get in my bag. Hold on. Let me just see what versus battles say. Let me see what they got. See what they got for Aang. It's mainly AP. He should be faster. Moon level is crazy. Yeah, niggas are saying moon level Aang, bro. If Aang moon level, I gotta figure out why I haven't like actually like done my Googles. But if that shit is real, if that shit is right, then yeah, Aang politely bows in Sukuna's direction and he's cooked. Yuji full power versus Denji full power. If you count Pochita's Chainsaw Man version as Denji's full power, that. But yeah. Moon level Aang is actually diabolical. Actually nasty work. Disgusting work. Tragic work. But yeah. Probably the moon spirit scaling. Gotcha. Chat. I don't know if y'all can tell. I might just be super goated at hiding it. This challenge has been killing my fucking voice, man. Honestly and truly. I gotta lock in. Take a lozenge or something. Aang redirects New as lightning. Cool visual. Who can tank Fuga and still be alive? Gojo's the only person I would even hazard a guess for. How busted would Sukuna be if he had Momo's curse technique? He'd be a lot fucking weaker. I don't know what a Momo domain expansion would look like, to be honest. So if he doesn't have any domain that does anything, he's probably like only like top 5. To be honest. Kashima would violate Aang if he tried to redirect that lightning. I don't know why. Why the fuck is Sukuna the first piece just stronger than everybody? I mean, you could say the same about Gojo. Like pre-20 finger Sukuna. Let's see. Remember when Gege said Gojo was the power ceiling? I do indeed remember that as well. How does Aang get past infinity? Gojo gotta breathe too, gang. Ijishi versus Arata. Ijishi solos, bro. Ijishi solos. Luffy versus Sukuna. Probably Luffy. Speed Blitz one-shot type shit. The broom slash that cuts the world. You know what? Fair point. But alright, chat. Y'all act like Gojo and Sukuna are just gonna stand there and let them take their oxygen. Shit's hilarious. It's more like they don't really have an option or see it. You know, you kind of just stop breathing one moment and you're like, oh, fuck. You know? Anyways. Appreciate you guys for coming out, chat. Appreciate y'all for coming out. This marks day... Fuck, I don't know. Like 40-something? Day 44? 43? Something like that, chat. Something like that. But appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all marking one more day off. Taking it one step at a time. Trying to hold it together. How many days do I got left? Too many to stay on stream and keep my sanity. So I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I will see y'all in the next one. Hope you guys have a nice rest of your night. Might be streaming again tomorrow.